Forgetting Ashville is an actual play Chronicles of Darkness podcast set in the fictional New England town of Asheville. We're all friends, we're here to have fun, but our story can include graphic violence, drug use, sexual content, and other mature themes. Content warnings can be found in the show notes. We've talked at our table about safety, comfort, and consent, both as players and storytellers. We know what to expect, we're all excited to be here, and we want you to feel the same, so listener discretion is advised. Now let's forget our troubles. Last time on Forgetting Ashville, Aviva, Dan, John, and Lola went to the underworld to acquire the obsidian dagger needed to kill the abyssal gold moth. They stole it and ran, escaping back up to John's house. Their celebratory pool party was interrupted by a phone call from John's mother, Ramona, who sent the Akamoth known as Thought Crimes to kill them all. Aviva and John killed the Akamoth, while Dan and Lola killed those of the Order of the Toolmaker it had possessed. Jesse rejoined the group, shocked by the carnage.
Jesse, without saying anything, just kind of pushes past and dumps the bags of food into a strata, and he kind of pushes himself into helping his brother along and kind of gets under Dan's arm and starts pushing him in. What the fuck happened?
Good timing.
Apparently not.
Well, you missed the worst of it.
What? Why isn't the ceiling?
Silver.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's why it was good. They decided to use it on all of us, so thankfully they weren't concentrating. Otherwise, it probably would have taken me out.
The Akamoth came with a crew. All of them loaded up with silver weaponry.
Well, things aren't getting any easier. The tower is starting to build down to something. In on itself, I don't know. Take a look. It's like a countdown.
John looks at Dan, and then at Lola. I hate to say this, Dan, but I don't think this is the biggest fight you need it for. Lola, I need you to do the thing.
I'm gonna do the thing.
Thank you.
What thing are you doing?
I can make some of the worst of his injuries go away.
How?
I go to the hedge and I collect the fruit that goes there.
Does something need to be given for that?
If I can't find it growing wild, then yes.
Jesse kind of looks back and forth and looks at Dan and the bullet wounds that are not closing. I'm still pretty fresh and I've got plenty to give. Can I come with you?
Lola thinks about that.
Not interrupting them while the two come to a decision. John is going to prep space for Dan to lay down, and weirdly, because John is very much used to Dan being the one to kind of pick him up when he gets his ass kicked, the reversal of roles is a bit of a shock to him, and he's just kind of scrambling and trying to get it right. And, he takes the huge couch, loads up pillows and a blanket, and is just trying to help Dan out.
Just give me your dining room table. It's probably best, and let's not get blood everywhere.
I'll deal with the blood.
He's done that before. He's made it into gemstones. It's fine.
I don't think blood inside is the worst of the problems here.
They'll heal.
You haven't seen the yard, man, have you?
Yeah, I did. That was me.
Yeah, so I don't think a little bit of blood on the couch is going to make a difference here.
Yeah.
Please lay down, man.
Fine.
Estrada looks over at John. You got any sort of medical tools in here?
Yeah, actually, I do.
Okay.
I go and...
Dan, you don't have exit wounds. That means that shit's still inside you.
Is getting it out gonna make it better? Or just make it worse?
The fuck am I supposed to know? But you're not supposed to leave bullets inside people.
I would like to roll medicine to assist in the idea of, sure, that makes total sense on an academic standpoint that you should not be leaving bullets in someone's body, but how can we ensure with the medical supplies that not only does it not get worse, or how can we give that procedure the best chance, so on and so forth.
Roll me a medicine.
Cool. What's that, intelligence medicine?
Intelligence.
Nope, not sure.
With a werewolf, and silver, who knows. Estrada does seem to, when he looks at first aid supplies, Estrada does seem to have some at least basics in like emergency first aid, and will start once everything is laid out, sort of delicately removing bullets from Dan.
I mean, Dan was waiting for them to respond. Go ahead.
Yeah, please.
So John goes off to go retrieve a first aid kit and tools to help remove it.
Mm-hmm.
While they are in my possession,
Out of line of sight of Estrada.
yeah, John is going to sit and try to tune the tools up as much as possible to make sure that, you know, they're perfect for Dan.
The scalpels get sharper, the tweezers get more precise.
Right.
But explaining to them is that taking the bullets out will just make it more comfortable for me. The damage is done. It's a weirdly spiritual thing in some ways, but it'll just make it more comfortable for me. It just takes a while for the two halves to figure things out again.
Okay, I don't know what any of that meant, but if it's going to make you more comfortable, I'm all for us doing it.
Yeah, I'll be able to move without too much things getting worse.
Great.
Jesse, if you want to come, there's a couple things that's going to make it different than we did last time. First, I need to go in through my dream, because I'm also full of bullets. And secondly, you have to promise up and down that you're not going to leave. I'll tell you if it's okay to make the bargain you're making. I'll let you, because he's your brother, and I know what it's like to not be able to help the person you love. But I'll tell you if it's a fair bargain or not. Does that work for you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, as much as we need Dan, we need the both of you for all this too. So, careful in the hedge.
I have 4 successes on that.
With that many successes, as you're all talking, with Dan's permission, Estrada will start administering some sort of emergency first aid and helping to get the bullets out.
Oh, he gives him a thumbs up, and then he's like, "Hey, I smelled food. Can you bring the meat parts?"
Jesse cracks a smile and brings the parts specifically prepared for Dan.
Holy shit, man. Can you at least wait till I'm done to eat? Was that just like a full-ass steak? What the hell is this?
Yeah, well, one, pain reduction medication doesn't work on me, so it doesn't matter.
Well, shit.
You have a full doctor suite here. It's going to be normal.
And 2, I'm going to go get some more fruit for my brother. And if he's in worse shape than he is when I come back, I'm going to make an exception and eat your ass slowly.
All right. No threats are necessary. Everyone's trying their best here.
It's
Whatever,
not a threat.
Man. You want to eat my ass, fine. And he just, like, keeps looking down and continuing to work on... Estrada seems to be, like, trying to do his best. Maybe because he's fucking guilty as shit. His pistol's continuing to just hang in suspended space in the backyard.
Lola will go and take it, and she will give it to John.
Jesse looks frustrated that his threat didn't land, and he's like, "But you have to add slowly to the end. Otherwise, it's just me eating your ass."
Yeah,
and that sounds weird.
I know. Yes, it did. It 100% sounded weird.
Well, it sounds like you're both consenting to ass eating, but we don't have time for it right now.
Slowly.
All right, I'm going to go put some clothes on. He takes the gun that Lola offers.
Estrada's not like a professional, so this is going to take him a little bit of time.
He unloads it and is going to go put it away.
Yeah, I'm on team clothes. Lola, can I take some of yours? Do you want some of yours?
No, I'm fine. I'll just get it when I come back.
Okay.
I shouldn't need clothes to be in my dreams.
Estrada looks over her shoulder. Right. Just speaking of taking bullets out of people, what about you?
Her too.
I don't know what I'm made of. I don't know.
Well, from how I'm looking at you right now, it's flesh and blood. So, maybe that ain't true, but you
Lola.
still got physical ass bullets in you.
Lola, bullets don't go in you. Let's get him out.
Okay.
Estrada will be able to, at least remove the bullets from everybody, so there's not going to be any further complications or anything from that. It's not speeding up your healing times, but it does mean there are no further complications that we're going to come along down the line.
It means healing can happen.
Yes.
If Estrada asks, Aviva is willing to help with the medicine. No,
He doesn't actually physically ask. He just is working, but will accept help if it comes along.
If that's, if he seems to need it, or if he would seem to benefit from it, Aviva will step in. And at the talk of Lola at first trying to shy away from medical help, with stepping in, Aviva can then be like, how about we all just behave and accept some fucking medical treatment?
Because I don't know if if you dig a bullet out of dirt, if that's going to make a difference or not, and it might just be wasting time.
You gotta have a better opinion of yourself than dirt.
I'm made of flowers, man.
Lola, we're wasting the time.
Okay,
This is happening.
okay,
Bullets are coming out of you.
okay.
All right?
And she is,
Worry instead about your mission. Okay?
and she kind of puts herself somewhere, and whatever she's lying on or next to, she just like white knuckles, clearly afraid of what might be seen.
Estrada finishes triaging Dan after a while and then turns to Lola, the one who has expressed, like, I gotta get out of here. And you watch Estrada's expression as he works on you, and maybe it's the residuals from when you just knocked his ass to the dirt with awe earlier or what. He seems a lot more delicate with Lola trying to get the bullets out than he does with Dan. Also possibly, not because he was rough with Dan, but Dan also literally was like, it doesn't fucking matter, I'm a big boy.
Hand me a steak.
Yeah. When he senses her nerves, he seems to be a little bit calmer about it. He does take the bullets out, and you watch his expression. For all that he seems to be able to see and recognize, he is taking bullets out of a human body. Red blood and flesh. He doesn't seem aware of any physical differences while he's doing his work. He is just a mortal. The glamour works totally fine on him, and your mask remains intact.
Lola just kind of stays with the fear, and eventually, as he's done and she has come through it, she regains a point of glamour as part of being part of the Ovnum court and being able to regain a glamour through overcoming fear.
Absolutely. After he's done with Lola, he looks at, well, John has walked off to go like shower and change, right?
Yes, and the wounds that he has on him don't really make sense. Like there's like bizarre like bruising, and parts of his skin are kind of like charred and withered, and like the wounds he suffered are not from bullets, they're from like exposure to the abyss.
Yeah. So not seeing John, or not seeing that John even was shot, he looks over finally at Aviva, does cock an eyebrow because she sort of revealed to him at one point what her deal was, and so he like hesitates before asking, like, what about you? You got shot too, right?
She definitely got shot too. That shotgun, and well, there's multiple bullet wounds. And with the passing of time, some of the bashing damage is healing away. But she was she would have been unconscious by mortal standards. So she looks over and kind of quietly considers Lola for a second. And without saying much, she sits next to... Lola, where are you sitting?
If they were taking bullets out of her, she probably just laid down on the floor.
Aviva will sit down next to Lola. Does she need the bullets taken out? It's not clear, but there's almost this small air of setting an example that Lola can probably pick up with her heightened emotional understanding and her empathy. Aviva seems to be doing this to prove a point directed at Lola, and she'll accept help.
This time it's Lola who rolls her eyes at Aviva.
There's a small smile despite the scalpel approaching.
Estrada will work quietly to just pull fucking buckshot and bullets out of Aviva. And there's this weird look on his face, like, well, that's not right. He keeps his shit together and he stays quiet as he pulls bullets out of the living dead girl.
There's a little bit of confrontation in Aviva's expression if his eyebrow kind of slides up, and she will look very directly at him. But she won't fuck with him too much. He's helping. And once he's done with the bullets, she'll say, "Thanks. I'm gonna go and raid John's closet, I guess."
Can I have any of the silver bullets?
Sure, take mine.
I mean, yeah, I don't see why not.
Right, she kind of like gathers them up in like whatever scrap of cloth is there, and then she looks to Jesse and kind of like just grabs him by the arm, says, "We have to go and we have to hurry up and meditate."
He looks nervously down at the silver bullets and kind of nods.
"These aren't for you, I promise."
I get it.
And she tries to find a place in the house where they can reasonably get into a meditative state.
John's got a pretty big house, so you can find a place. Honestly, the room that you had slept in earlier, too, step into the dreams and walk the dreaming road is a perfect place to go. Strata finishes working up on Aviva, sort of wipes his brow a little bit. Fuck, there's a pile of goddamn townsfolk bodies outside. What the hell am I gonna...
I got it.
What do you mean you got it?
I meant what I said.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Hey, you look so, like, a little awkward. Sorry, some of the shit that I said. I think it would be very easy to say somebody else made me say it. And it's true, but, I don't know. It drags the shit up that's somewhere inside, and I'm sorry, okay?
John rests his hand on his bruised neck and gives a nod. Well, that means a lot. You're a douche, Estrada, but I'm not mad at you.
Yeah, fuck you too. I'm gonna use your bathroom.
Sure, man, have fun.
And he just walks down the hallway.
Does he have the scalpel with him?
No.
Okay.
No, all about no. John, you have awareness of truth and lies and greater context. He needs to go be by himself for a minute.
Yeah.
Also does actually have to pee, but like,
Yeah.
needs to be by himself for a little bit.
While everyone's kind of making preparations, John, who is actually very fucking hurt, is going to quietly make his way outside and is going to, I guess, handle the bodies. He's going to do this in a bit of an uncomfortable way. The dead are a source of power for him, and he is going to drain corpses of their essence and then use his power over the Death Arcana to cause them to rapidly decompose. And it's going to be a slow process for him, because in between, he's going to be burning the mana that he gains to repair a bit of the damage that's been dealt to him. So outside, he basically sits next to a body, inhales, draws energy from them, causing the body to kind of like decompose some. And then he's going to rest his hand over where the wound actually is, like say that the bruised neck is really like all he can deal with. And he's going to use that mana to repair his pattern. The blood kind of goes back, the damaged flesh starts to knit itself back together again. And then he rests his hand on the body and causes it to essentially dissolve into muck.
Something that you will notice as you're doing that is that dissolving the bodies after having dealt with Rot's Caress is something that can happen right now in Ashville. So there is, having dealt with that spiritual issue, there is no problem with this plan.
After he takes some time to deal with that, hurt but less visibly so, he heads on inside, looks for Aviva, and honestly he's going to spend time with her.
Hey, good timing. And Aviva will have found some amount of John's clothing to steal. What would be pretty accessible to her?
I mean, there's jerseys, bathrobe, t-shirts.
Then she's probably in one of his jerseys. And by this point, Rob, that's at least, 15 minutes for the bashing?
Oh, yeah.
She looks at John and she's like, I guess I probably should have grabbed the plasm in the pool, but I was a little distracted. Do you happen to have more, or to get me healed up?
There's always more. John will take Aviva's hand, lead her to the room that he normally performs his rituals in, and he's going to make use of some of the like candles and what have you as a means of creating plasm for her.
You sure you're okay with that? I mean, it's still magic.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. He like manages a smile.
Everything go okay outside?
So, Swanson brothers taking out Rot's Caress actually made it so that this could be resolved more easily. So, silver linings to all of this.
Yeah, cool. I meant the emotional damage from trying to handle the bodies.
Oh, he kind of like blinks, realizing that he was just kind of handling bodies and was totally numb about it. I don't really have a good answer for that.
Okay, that's fair. So, we can figure out later some way to pay respect, alright?
Yeah. It occurs to me that now that the situation with Rot's Caress has been dealt with, the fuel that they're using to power their machine, it might be a means of cutting them off and preventing them from finishing what they started. At least for now. I don't know. Something to go over with everyone once we're all together again.
Makes sense to me.
You good?
We're gonna have to do more like this.
Yeah.
And I am good with it. What I said to the Akamoth or thought crimes, I know you gave it a name, and I understand that as a person and that sometimes people need to die. I am good with that, not because it's right or because it's excused, but this group here, our friends, that's gonna be rough. Dan right now, he's handling the wounds. And Lola, Jesse, they're gonna be busy trying to get everyone right. But there's gonna come a point when, I don't know, we're gonna have to be there for the others. And we have our various ways, you and I, of being okay about all this, but I know it's crunch time, but we're gonna have to make sure they're good too.
Yeah.
So that's what's... I'm okay, I'm focused on the target. But everyone here doing what they can do to be okay, that's part of the end goal.
Well, I think Lola and Jesse are doing what they need to do to be okay.
Yeah.
Dan needs to sit still and heal. I have no idea whether or not he's going to manage that, but I'm hoping. So, for now, we just be human for a little while.
Well, you're gonna be on that list once it gets to... Yeah.
I've made my choice on that.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Then I'm sorry.
I learned the hard way. It was my family.
Aviva reaches over to hold his hands.
Lola and Jesse. Lola, you make your way there and bring Jesse to... I mean, you know exactly where a local goblin merchant is going to be now.
Going to my place first,
Okay.
so that I can safely, without worrying about what's going to come out, fix myself.
So if you're bringing Jesse along, here's the way to do that. You go into Jesse's dream, you bring him to yours, and walk the roads, and then the two of you go to the cabin. Easily done.
She does bring the silver bullets with her.
Into the hedge.
Yes.
Into your dreams.
Yep.
Okay.
One of the things that she and the others did for Mother was find things for her to make things with. So stuff that can be molded, crafted with, has a high value, and it would be good for the goblin merchants to be able to offer it to the keepers.
Silver touched by the blood of a werewolf?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why not?
Well, by the blood of lots of people.
True. But, Jesse, it doesn't feel like you would be able to under the circumstances, but with Lola's help, you actually do sort of, not fully fall asleep, but those moments in like the early morning when you kind of brown out and you're dreaming, but you're still kind of awake.
I think Jesse's also been going pretty hard and really hasn't been taking time to sleep. He's just been kind of pushing on and soldiering on and just like, sleep's a tomorrow problem.
Mm-hmm.
He's been saying that for the past,
Everybody's been going pretty hard.
Yeah.
So you drift into Jesse's surface level dreams. Lola, you step in alongside him and then pretty quickly pull him from there to the roads. And Jesse, there are long roads in the dream, in the hedge. You vaguely recognize having been here before. And with Lola, you are no longer simply a sleeping mortal. She has the rituals and the contracts and whatever to be able to keep you along with her as you guys step from Jesse's bastion along the roads to the dream.
Lola will whistle for Turkey Tail to make crossing a little quicker.
And on Turkey Tail, you can speed directly to the cabin. You can make a stop at Lola's bastion, your own dreams, where, the dance hall still exists. A place of beauty and wonder and comfort and art where you may heal.
She doesn't take the time to fill it with an audience. She just makes the stage a single spotlight and she goes and curls up in it. She invites Jesse to come sit with her if he'd like.
He does.
Right. She definitely leans into him, just glad that there's someone there.
And this time, you don't have to make an audience to witness you and to fill that loneliness because you actually have someone here with you.
Mm-hmm.
And you've had Dream Jesse here before, but now it is not a panicked flight. It is the both of you have an urgency. You have things that have to happen and in a timely manner, but for just those few moments, you can have that sense of rest and that sense of, okay, I know the world is ending, but at least I have right now.
She may hang a little longer than she needs to, but not much. Her wounds begin to fade as magic pulses around her, the magic of dreams and some fears, some autumn purple emotions. And she eventually will get to her feet and nod that they can proceed. She will turn to Jesse as they're sitting on the stage. I worry when you're not there, but this time I'm really, really glad you weren't there.
Not at the pool?
No, not at the pool.
Yeah, I thought I could sneak off and help out while you guys rested up. Kind of messed that up in a weird way.
So did we.
I'm just happy that you're all okay. At least I hope you're going to be okay.
I think on a long enough timeline, everyone's okay.
No, sometimes people... sometimes things end.
Yeah. Like John said, everything can die.
I think this town's about to die.
That might be the case.
I was worried about the person that my grandma killed. I was thinking, oh man, maybe they might have to pack up shop and move, but considering what happened at the pool, I don't know if there's going to be enough people to eat at the diner anymore.
It looked like it was everyone who we thought was a part of the Toolmakers Union.
That's most of the clientele. He kind of chuckles and then kind of looks off a little bit distantly.
Well, let's make sure Dan isn't the next one on the list, okay? Can
Okay.
leapfrog from one problem to the next. Doesn't have to all be one giant jump.
He kind of breathes heavy and looks around at the performing space, trying to avoid thinking about how rough of a spot his brother's in. It's a real pretty place that you have here, Lola.
I made it.
You dreamed this up?
Yeah. She kind of waves a hand and all the stage lights come on.
Once we get past all this, have you ever thought about maybe like actually opening a dance studio or something?
I have.
Maybe not in Asheville, but
Why not in Asheville?
I don't know if there's enough people in Asheville to go to your studio.
Guess we'll
Not
have to just
anymore.
make it an appealing place to be, to bring in new people then.
Yeah.
And Lola will walk outside and whistle for Turkey Tail and invite him to sit on this, Jesse to ride with her on this giant elephant gorilla mushroom creature.
It arrives. The saddlebags with the D&J are still on the back.
Is there anything in them?
Hey, it's fruit. Fuck it.
I was halfway,
Peace out, motherfuckers!
halfway convinced there was going to have a Darko and a Jack on them.
Turkey Tail speeds the two of you. There's plenty of room on this big-ass weirdo thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it speeds the two of you quickly to... Not only does it move quickly, it knows exactly where it's going. It is now, for all intents and purposes, going home. Very quickly gets you to, Jesse, the cabin that you recognize as the fantasy reflection of the Swanson cabin. Now, instead of looking like just a neat little cottage in the woods, however, while the base is the same, it looks like a fantasy curio shop, basically. Like if you were going to go to a Ren fair, that was just a building filled with junk that you wanted to buy. That's what the place is now. And so here's what I'm going to tell the two of you. Darko and Jack are very willing to make a deal. And in this, Lola, you can only hold 3 goblin fruit at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Along the way, you can find 3 goblin fruit for yourself. So you may have 3 if you take the time for it, which you may. If you want more than that, anything more than that, if you want information or more fruits beyond what you can normally carry, or more time, they are all available to you. I will tell you a certain amount of goblin debt that must be accrued, and there will be no extra negotiation on this.
Okay.
However, you brought Jesse with you, and the two of you may split it. You can split the cost.
Do
But
the bullets
you
help
as
at all?
But you as the changeling, yep,
Okay.
I am factoring that in for the price.
Okay.
You as the changeling have to have at least as much or more of the debt than the werewolf.
Yep.
So if it's like 5, you have to have at least 3.
Right.
So what is it you want to purchase?
So when you say I can get more time,
Mm-hmm.
what way does that manifest?
Great question, and you're not going to know until you buy it.
Okie dokie. How much more fruit would I be able to carry?
How much are you willing to spend?
I'd like to be able to carry twice my normal.
So you want to be able to carry 6. You want 3 additional fruit?
Yes.
That will cost you 3 points of goblin debt. 1 for each of the fruit, but nothing extra, thanks to your trades. They're very interested in the silver and blood. Nothing extra for the additional carrying capacity, which is a magic all its own. That they'll throw in for free.
Is that permanent, or is that...
No, that is not permanent.
Okay.
That is a until
One-time
dawn
offer.
kind of deal. Yeah.
All right. We didn't come here to wheel and deal for a whole lot. We came here to search and destroy. Jesse, are you willing to take any of that debt?
Absolutely.
Okay, take 1.
Jesse, nothing feels different when you accrue a point of goblin debt. You feel the same as normal, but there's a little tickle at the back of your neck in a very similar manner to make when you make a bargain with a spirit. Not the same. And bands and all that, like it's just a drop in a bucket. But you definitely get the sense, and Lola, you already know this.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to let the bucket get full.
Nope.
Lola, you will accrue 2 more points of goblin debt.
Mm-hmm.
Jesse, you will accrue 1. And you may have now, between yourself and what the goblins will give you, 6 goblin fruits until the next time the sun sets. If you have not used more than your carrying capacity before the next time the sun sets, they're not fucking you on this. This is you get like 24 hours basically. But
Okay. Well, I was going to say, if it means that I need to buy the time in order to make sure the sun doesn't set, that would be very clever. But
you brought them an offering of something that is interesting to trade, so they are not fucking you on this.
I know what I'm doing sometimes, just not when it comes to counting my successes.
Hey man, changing rules. So the 2 of you have it. You all wished a good evening, and they are always happy to see repeat customers come back. Lola, while you're there, the last thing that you'll notice before you guys leave, there's a little pen with feed and water and everything for Turkey Tail. They are
Okay.
taking good care of him.
Good.
They are not abusive freak owners. I don't even know what to call it. It's
Yeah. Yeah. They're not being bad to my turkey tail.
No.
They're honoring the bargain that was...
They are honoring the bargain. It is a very useful delivery
Mm-hmm.
method. So they are honoring the bargain.
All right. And she will mount up on Turkey Tail to get back to her dream and then back to Jesse's dream.
One last thing.
Oh boy.
As you approach your own dream, there is a small mouse wearing a little suit coat with a little sword at his hip and a little Robin Hood hat on his head, standing right outside your bastion.
Hi, Hoodie.
Hello, my lady. Might I accompany you back to the real world?
Are you going to tell him where I am if I do?
He will know. But he knows now anyways.
Where
and
I am?
I think that
And you can see him struggling with something.
I had hoped to have a conversation in front of you and yours.
All right.
And he just crawls up into your pocket.
She doesn't have pockets. She's in her underpants.
Right. Jesse, you got pockets?
Oh yeah.
He can ride in her bra. She doesn't care.
And then he crawls right up into, for what all his perspective is, just another pocket.
Jesse looks down at him. He's wearing a houndstooth overcoat. Now that he has a mouse in his breast pocket, he kind of frowns a little bit.
No, it sounds like the mouse hid in the bra.
Yeah, she's
It's a different breast pocket.
yeah, it's a different breast pocket.
he's-
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, no, he
Oh.
he was going to, and then Lola was like, I don't give a fuck. And so he was like, all right,
Nope. Never mind.
this mouse does not care. It's a mouse. He
Mhm.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Lola's extremely attractive, but like, it's a mouse.
Yeah. Well, Lola's also a dancer, and she's used to having people reach weird places on her body to fit costumes. So
So he just nestles in, and you guys return to the real world with your bounty in tow. Actually, Jesse's pockets probably have all the bounty in them.
yeah, she's probably carrying a couple, but he's definitely got some.
I'm laden with the fruit.
I have a poorly timed mechanical question.
Okay.
Willpower.
Yes.
I have the same question when you're done with her.
Gain everything back from saved.
All right.
You should be full.
To share what that would mean, getting all willpower back from saved is when you pay it forward, risking what you've gained to give someone else a fresh chance.
You very specifically went in and took the lessons that you learned and applied it, risking yourself to give others a chance against the Akamoth. That applies.
Sounds great. Thank you, thank you.
Just really quick, does killing the Akamoth count as justice?
Provider and acceptance, the amount of that you have put at risk for yourself to provide for others and take care of others. Yes, you should also be gaining back everything after that encounter. John, yes, putting the Akamoth in the ground is a resolution of, I mean, that is some pure street justice.
Woohoo.
Back in the world, around Dan, everyone gathers again in your various states of dress, various states of injury, and a little Renaissance mouse poking out of Lola's bra as you gather around Dan, who has been resting and just sort of, I don't know, man, how good is Dan of a patient?
I mean, pretty good. I feel like this isn't his first rodeo. Not always silver, but I've probably been dinged up quite a bit over my time.
Makes sense.
I imagine John just gives him his phone.
I think I slept.
I think both happened.
Lola, once she's back, will probably thud lightly down the stairs with the mouse in her bra and fruit in her hands. She'll kind of gauge the room before she comes running in excitedly, but she does hold them up, trying to catch Dan's attention if he's awake, but not waking him up if he's asleep.
You'd be awake at this point.
I imagine if you made enough noise, he woke up.
All right, here, eat these.
What do they taste like?
They're good. Hang on, there's actually a description.
Sugar doesn't do anything for me, so tastes good though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this tastes great and is less filling. Just going to read the whole description of an amaranthine. A small eggplant, the soft red of compassion. Amaranthine grows where despair colors the hedge most deeply and smells like hope and cinnamon. When eaten, it instantly heals a single point of aggravated damage.
So we force him to eat 6 eggplant and heal 6 egg. You send enough of these in text, now eat them.
And Lola will just keep passing him the amaranthines.
John watches the magic unfold as he kind of holds one hand over his arm, and wherever his hand goes, the wounds he has start to stitch back together again. And he just kind of looks fascinated by what these eggplants are doing to Dan.
Aviva's had enough time and plasm to make sure that she's healed up. And she's kind of looking onwards as well. I mean, she's had enough time to heal, but probably not enough time for her hair to dry. And she's just like messing with this bun, watching this process, a little just quietly perturbed by the process of eating 6. Are they eggplant sized? Because that's just a lot of chewing.
Small, so I assume like banana size.
It's like, you know, you go to the grocery store, you have these huge eggplants, but then there's like the smaller, like kind of less developed ones.
Somewhere between an eggplant and a zucchini, I would imagine.
Yeah.
It's just baby aubergine, but it's fucking red.
I just figure that I'm watching this process.
That's a band name and a half, Baby Aubergine.
Just with some level of like genuine academic fascination, but also just doneness.
I imagine Dan eats them pretty methodically once he like sits up and like somewhat puts them on a plate or something like that. Just like,
I mean, it has been established several times in this series that Dan can just fucking house food if he wants to.
I'm not perturbed by the amount of food necessary there.
I just kind of imagine him eating 2 at once.
What is this? Peter Pan? Is this Hook?
Just-
What is it?
Dan just shoving whole fucking eggplants into his mouth.
Just double fisting the eggplants.
I don't have enough now kiss gestures for this conversation.
Anyways, we need
Get
to
him,
talk
Dan,
about this
get
giant this festival mouse.
Dan catches everyone looking at him shoving an eggplant into his mouth and was like, hey, what about the mouse? Let's look at the mouse now.
It's a literal titmouse.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. And she will get Hoodie out of her bra.
Oh, Hoodie's just watching like the goblin fruits that have been brought into the real world, going back and forth between Jesse and Lola and Dan. Just a little head looking back and forth like he's watching a tennis match.
Mm-hmm. All right, Dan, how are you feeling?
Well, those heal just like I do normally, so that's pretty cool.
So better.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure all those holes that are underneath these bandages closed up.
that's good. That's good.
Where do you get those from?
Goblins.
The cabin, actually.
Huh.
They have a shop there now.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, thanks. It's nice to breathe normally again.
You
Well-
all good or what?
Lola just kind of gives a tight nod. At this point, she's kind of realizing she's been in her underwear for a very long time, and it's a little chilly.
Aviva had been intending to ignore Lola's requests and bring her down a pair of leggings and what looks to be it looks like Aviva picked the thing that reminded her most of what Lola used to wear. So if there was like a bit of a wrap sweater, something that looks a little bit more ballet, she would actually go for that over like a t-shirt or that kind of thing if that kind of thing had been picked up when you guys were shopping.
If it was available, it was absolutely picked up in multiple colors.
Absolutely, yeah. Without a doubt.
And she is looking like she's, her arm pulls back like she's going to baseball toss it at Lola's head. Then she sees that there's actually something moving, a little mouse snout turning back and forth. You said you took him out of your bra?
Yeah.
So is he kind of being held up to spectate, or what's his positioning?
Yeah, she's not giving him a whole lot of attention at this point. She just sensed him moving and took him out.
Uh-huh.
And so she's just kind of holding him in the palm of her hand as...
Like a forgotten drink.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to pause then with the clothes and instead hand them to the empty palm. Eyes kind of lingering on Hoodie. Hi, Mouse.
Hello.
What's your deal?
He kind of looks back up at Lola.
Is there time now?
Lola kind of looks at everyone here. Is there?
I mean, after you get changed if you want.
Okay. Let me just... She kind of puts Hoodie on a coffee table or...
Yeah, I mean, you guys were by the dining room table with Dan,
Okay.
so there's plenty of place.
Yeah, she just sets him down and takes the clothes. She's very quick at changing. And then she comes back just like a couple seconds later.
And Hoodie looks directly at you, and it's tough to read his emotions all of a sudden.
How is Estrada hanging with a talking mouse?
He's not in the room. He's-
Okay.
Actually, Estrada has stepped out into the backyard and seems to be looking at where the bodies were.
I have a message from my lord and master, the troubadour of great sorrows, for his prey.
Lola kind of gives a slow nod and understanding that she is to this huntsman.
Jesse is edging a little bit towards Lola and kind of keeping an eyes in the back of his head, ready to do something if this escalates.
Lola, when he says he has a message from his master, looks to see what all the doors are like where they are currently.
All shut.
Lola will kind of look at Aviva. Can you open the doors, please?
Okay. And Aviva will go do so.
They all open to exactly where you would expect them to. It. Yep. Various rooms and...
Mm-hmm.
Aviva, once she kind of catches sight of Lola peeking around, opens them with the specific purpose of, yes, you would like a peek? You have gotten a peek. Can I close? Yes,
No,
Nope.
keep them open.
All right, sure.
Because if they're closed, someone can open them from other sides.
And Aviva goes through and opens literally anything door-like in the room. I think this is a room with lots of cabinets, so...
Yeah, there's... Turns out when you look for anything that could count as a door or a window, there's a lot in any given living space.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine this takes a while.
Takes a bit. Hoodie waits.
Proceed.
As my lady knows, my master is a huntsman. His desires, his soul has been taken from him and hidden somewhere within the hedge. And my master would bid your aid to help save him from the will of
Her.
And
Yes, the porcelain mother.
And there is kind of a weird chill in the room when he says porcelain mother.
Lola sort of wraps her arms around herself.
If my lady, and perhaps her friends, if necessary, would be so kind as to travel into the hedge, I could guide her there to find his true heart so that he would not have to hunt her.
John, as he says all this, you know two things. One, context. It is true that a huntsman's heart might be hidden somewhere. There's a grain of truth in what Hoodie is saying. But two, his master is not bidding her to help him get out from under the thumb of the porcelain mother. This is very clearly a trick. This is a trap. Hoodie, maybe the porcelain mother, maybe the fucking huntsman, do not seem to understand that there's someone nearby who can instantly see through lies. But you know that the more Hoodie goes on here, just through the context that you get from this, Lola is incredibly kind. She does so much to help people, even when sometimes people might not deserve it. The huntsman is aware of this and is crafting a trap specific to Lola to take advantage of her kindness. You also know, through your context, Hoodie does not want to be saying this, but has no choice.
And so, we could, while he is not able to approach such a place, I know that there is a painted boy, one who was lost.
John, that's a lie.
Please, my lady.
And Hoodie is shaking in your hand.
What will happen to you if I refuse to do this?
I am but a vessel for my master. What happens to me matters not.
To who?
To my master.
I didn't ask for what your master would think. If I refuse, what will happen to you?
If you refuse outright, I will perish.
And something prevents him from saying anything else.
Lola crouches, thinking. She's still holding Hoodie in her hand. She kind of offers him her thumb, as a source of comfort.
He puts his little mousy hands around it and hugs your thumb.
Lola, there are things that need doing, but afterwards, I think we can help them.
It matters how I accept.
I know.
Would it be possible for you to return to your master and give the message I am taking the offer under consideration?
Hoodie shakes a bit and then looks up at you, clutching with his little mousy hands very tightly to your thumb, and says,
My lady once did me a kindness, protecting me and giving me a name. It would be my honor to relay any message over any length of time to the one who holds my heart.
This clearly has Lola upset at she knew Mother was bad, but the chain of pain and distress and awfulness that she's creating just there's a little bit of a tear that comes down Lola's cheek. Hoodie, on the condition that you not be harmed, I will consider his request.
My lady, thank you for your bravery. I will relay the message.
And something stops him from saying anything else. A little mousy tear goes down his cheek.
That doesn't seem like... I'm not hearing an acceptance of terms there.
It's not on his...
No, I get it. He's just the messenger, but...
John gives Lola a look like this mouse needs to be sent on his way.
Is there anything that we can do? I mean, that sword's not going to do much.
Lola goes outside with Hoodie and sets him next to the pool. There are very important things I need to do, but I won't forget you. And I'll try to do better for you.
My lady, if I might ask, where is it that I might tell my master you will be found and when?
And Lola is extremely empathetic.
Mm-hmm.
This has been very clearly established. And you get the impression that Hoodie is asking you to lie to him so that he can lie in return without lying, because he is not able to conceal the truth. But if you tell him something, the huntsman will based on the kindness you've done to this little mouse, the huntsman will be in the wrong place at the wrong time. And while in the long term, you may not be solving this huntsman problem, in the short term, this mouse is asking you to help him save you. At least for now.
Lola thinks for a minute. On the day of the Founders' Day festival, he can find me at the hanging tree.
On my honor, then, lady, I will tell him to look for you at the hanging tree on the day of the Founders' Day festival.
You're a good messenger.
And he sweeps his little hat off in a bow, and then hops down and scampers off into the grass. And you get the impression he's taking the long way back.
And Lola will kind of pull her sleeve up over the bottoms of her thumbs, wipe her eyes, and come back inside. All right, he's on his way.
He was sent to lie. A great deal of what he said is not true. They're trying to prey on your empathy.
Lola nods.
But there was some truth to what was said about his soul.
Yeah, that's what the keepers do. They steal the hearts of huntsmen so that their own desires are those of the keepers.
So they're soulless?
No, the keepers have their souls. They do work in order to get them back.
I mean, in the meantime, though, are they soulless?
That's a bigger question, I think. Can I roll occult hedge?
Without a roll.
Okay.
Lola, for the huntsman, from your perspective, as far as you are aware, you're not sure whether they're soulless. You do know they are heartless. Now, whether that is just a translation of the same thing, you don't know.
It's like, yeah, we get it. There can be technicalities on the whole soul thing, but what would you say?
They're heartless. The desires they have are not their own. Their own desires have been taken. Their will to act is still their own.
Okay. I think that can be worked with.
But I think that's a problem for a later time. I told him where he could find me, and I just won't be there.
I just want you to know that I think this is something we can work with. And any bait being offered is definitely bait.
Hoodie's pretty good about not hiding. But I appreciate you making sure.
So what I would like to see now is sort of a brief montage of how, for all intents and purposes, the group of you together spends the night before the apocalypse.
Is Estrada still hanging out?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, Estrada's, he's giving everybody their space. He knows he's an outsider here. He's, figuring things out kind of on his own. He's around, but he's not part of the group. And he will eventually just be like, I think I should just go back to the station for now. I still got that thing in me, so I don't know how much I can be trusted until all this is over. So I think I'm going to go lock myself up.
Do you at least have a pillow or something there?
Yeah, I'll bring some shit in, but
How does his soul look?
not corrupted by the Akamoth, but still with that machinery within it. He still got stuck.
I'm going to look at him for a second. You think I could maybe pull that out of him?
The impression that you get is it is so intertwined that you could try, but as things currently stand, it would be resisted by whatever is on the other side of that connection.
Okay. So I look at him. Tomorrow, I'll fix you, and it'll be okay again. I mean, as okay as things can be.
Yeah, okay.
While they're talking, Lola runs to the kitchen, and she comes back with the bottle of grenadine and an energy drink.
No, absolutely not.
Nope,
No.
don't drink. Abuse yourself a different way.
I wasn't going to abuse myself. I was going to lock myself up and lock up and throw the key out of arm's reach. So somebody could come find me in the morning. That would be great.
That
can
can
do
be.
Because I just...
So you don't want the grenadine, is what I'm hearing.
No, I thank you, though. That's very kind.
Is
He
it?
looks like I don't know. Looks like a little sick again.
Lola, he's been through enough.
That's fair. I'm harsh.
Tell you what.
I don't even know when I bought that grenadine.
Oh my God. We get all this sorted out. We get me sorted out. Everybody makes it through this okay. And Yeah. How about we have a drink? But
Okay.
for right now, I don't want the thanks.
This is from 2001. Was this here when you moved into the house?
Aviva gives Lola that kind of girl code, like sidelong eyes of when there's an emphasis on we could get a drink. Aviva like gives Lola that like, you understand what's up, right? Look as Lola's checking the expiration date.
It takes a second, so it comes out more like, this is from 2000. What? Yes, drink would be good.
Great. I'm going to get out of here. Sounds good. Good. I don't know what you guys are doing. I feel like I shouldn't know. So, whatever the fuck it is, good luck.
Thanks.
And he turns to leave out one of the still open doors.
See you later, Nick.
John.
Yeah, I'll see you around, Dan.
John actually heads out with him. I need to borrow your Kevlar.
Yeah, okay. By this point of the night, he doesn't even question it. He just slips it off, gives it over.
Be safe. We'll come get you in the morning.
Yeah, good luck. And he sticks his
By the
hand
way.
out. As you say, by the way.
John takes his hand. You're a not terrible cop. It's the town that sucks.
Yeah. Guess we'll see if I'm a cop tomorrow either way.
Yeah.
Good luck, John.
Thanks.
And he heads out.
John is going to go to the backyard, and he is going to collect every gun, every flashlight, every bit of gear that these guys brought in, and he's going to bring everything inside. He is going to set it all down, and then he's probably going to go looking for something to drink, but then will, kind of stop himself.
Lola is pouring grenadine and energy drink shots for everybody.
God, the temptation to make you all make stamina rolls is so high.
Don't worry, I'm not drinking it. I ain't going out like that.
Nah, fuck me up, fam. Let's roll it.
I'm good. I've had enough poison in me.
All right, so the girls hang for a bit.
Till they puke
So,
pink.
yeah. So now, I do want to see a brief montage of how you guys spend your how's the foxhole energy?
Lola will end up asking if anyone is afraid. And if the answer is yes, she will offer to take it. Because that would be a mutually beneficial thing.
Okay.
John will volunteer.
Lola will sit with him.
He kind of gives Aviva this look and then heads off to sit next to Lola while she does her thing.
She will soak in the ambient tension for the night, and just kind of gradually draw the fear away. In the meantime, energy drinks, some with grenadine, some not. She'll turn on Airplane, just because it reminded her when someone was saying, I just want to tell you all good luck. It just reminded her of Airplane, so she puts it on.
Looking at Jesse, we should probably go see what's at the quarry in terms of essence before whatever this happens. That fight took a bunch out of me, so if I get a few points, that'd be good. I don't know how you are after Rot's Crest.
I have a little bit of essence still with me. If we can squeeze anything out of the quarry, you should take it.
I still got some left on me, so we'll see how it goes. But
We're bleeding that locust dry, man. We got to be real careful.
oh, yeah, but things should start coming back to normalish. So
It's gonna take some time.
we need this last bit amount, and then we should be okay for a while.
I've been saying that for a while too, huh?
Okay, not that I know how werewolf stuff works, but isn't it better to take what's there so that you can fix it later?
That's why you're supposed to drink all your water if you're stranded in the desert. Don't try to ration it out because people die with water still left in their canteens.
It's a balance thing.
Mm.
You can't take too much, but you do have to take some. Otherwise, the spirits get rambunctious. But I could just use the run otherwise.
I think if there's essence there, you take it, man.
Yeah, we'll see what's up. We'll be back in a bit.
The Swansons head out to the quarry. You guys may refresh between the two of you a total of 6 essence. A lot of the big hungry spirits that came around that area are gone. So there is a bit, now that some of the balance has been restored to the area, at least in that way, Bachelor no longer there is a bit for you to take.
I only need like 2.
I'm good.
I didn't know if you were full or anywhere where you at.
Just like, shut up, little brother. Eat the goddamn essence.
I'm pretty good, man.
Okay, I spent through like 7, so
Yeah.
in the
Take,
last
take the successes.
I'm now back at about 7 or so.
Okay.
I guess.
I like that.
Yeah.
Love
Other
that for
than
you.
that, I feel like the run might be a good time for me to start resolving the amount of possible spirit hit.
Yes,
Breaks
so
the
I was going
spirit.
to get to that.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm going to make you make 3. 1 for the group of random people,
Sure.
1 for Amber, 1 for Gary.
Got it.
What are the results of those rolls?
I didn't make the rules there, but I did go through and actually just do 10 of them, and I failed twice.
Okay. So break twice towards spirit
Right.
as you start to move away from your humanity and your human side and start to fall more in line with the balance of flesh and spirit.
I am now perfectly balanced.
When Lola sets out her monstrosity shots, energy drink, and grenadine, how many shots do you split this into? Is this 5? Because
There
you
are
thought
5
the whole
of
group?
us.
And
Mhm.
the boys are refusing?
Mm-hmm.
And then Aviva will take 2 of these shots with Lola and tell her, all right, that third one's on you. I don't want to fucking be doing this shit either.
Rock, paper, scissors for it.
Yeah, right. How do you want to do that?
I want you guys to do rock, paper, scissors right now, and we will narrate who wins.
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Well, fuck.
Keep it going.
No, hang on. We both threw scissors.
We both threw scissors. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
You
Both
threw
rock.
rock.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Both
My
rock
God,
again.
guys.
Rock, paper,
Jumbles up a
scissors,
seat.
shoot. I threw rock again. Rebecca threw scissors.
Oh, God, fuck. And Aviva will do the shot with more aggravation than someone actually doing a shot. But she does it, sets the third shot glass down, upside down, deliberately making a mess on John's nice table.
And to be clear, you guys are just doing shots of grenadine.
Grenadine and energy drink, yes.
Oh.
It's hummingbird feeder. I call it the
Sugar
glamour
bombs.
harvest.
The glamour harvest. Good
Yep.
God.
I like to think that that's like, you were joking about the stamina roll, but Aviva has 3 stamina, so I like to think that's her max for this.
That is the number.
It's like
Yeah, Lola's is too.
Lola introduced the drink to everyone. Harvested piles of fear.
Yeah,
Aviva took a while, but she eventually got her too.
yeah. Aviva was being like, oh, cool guy about like, I'm not afraid. Like, trying to get her to sit by you and like collect her fear for your glamour earlier wasn't working out all that well. But now you got plenty of ambient disgust.
Yep. Grenadine reveals the truth of people, man.
It's so bad.
So gross.
It's not even like simple syrup. It's
No.
like pure, just
It's
syrupy red. But it
so
burns. It's so bad.
once she's done this, she turns. She tells Lola to go fuck herself. And
Rigorously and wholeheartedly, ma'am.
Aviva gives her just like a weirded out shake of the head because in some ways Lola is still supposed to be like 14 in her head. She just can't really compute that. So she claps Lola on the shoulder and heads upstairs.
If Lola is left alone, she will make a quick phone call and then continue watching Airplane.
Who are you calling?
Grandma. She tells Grandma not to come to the Harvest Festival. Or the Founders Day Festival.
There's no answer, but you leave it on the machine.
Okay. It's late. Grandma's probably sleeping.
It's early. Grandma's probably sleeping. It's like midday. Grandma's probably sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But you leave the message.
Once they've kind of finished bonding over that horrific drink, John is gonna knock on the doorway really quick at Lola and be like, "Hey, just making sure you're good for tonight."
I should be okay.
All right.
I'm probably not going to sleep, but it wouldn't do anything for me if I slept anyway.
Okay. Keep an eye out for the guys. They
Will
should be
do.
back soon. And he actually heads upstairs and will look for Aviva.
It's not super difficult to find her. She seems like she's intending to sleep in his bedroom.
Okay. He heads into the room and just kind of closes the door behind him.
Okay.
Jesse goes to the quarry with his brother, and
The two of you eventually return back to John's house?
Yep.
Okay. And you find Lola sort of curled up on the couch, I assume? Or back in the other bedroom where you guys have dream walked before?
No, she's got her point shoes on. She looks like she may have been doing warm-ups or utilizing the large space while watching Airplane, but she at this point is probably like just kind of lounged oddly on the couch. Point shoes still on. Did you guys get what you need?
For the most part.
We okay?
Will be.
Yet is an important word.
Another day. We got stuff to do. I'm not feeling too broken up about it, but still kind of mad that somebody made me do it.
Yeah, when I said nobody wanted that, I meant everybody. One person wanted it and they weren't there.
everything's out of balance right now. But it's getting back to shape.
Do you guys want to watch a movie with me, or are you guys going to sleep?
A movie sounds good. Jesse finds a spot to perch.
Dan will turn into his wolf form after saying, I'm going to get some sleep. My body's still trying to figure things out. I'll be ready tomorrow.
Okay.
Those of you who choose to sleep the sleep of the exhausted. Those of you who stay up have those nerves of basically the night before a battle, the night before something horrible happening, and find what rest and what comfort amongst this place and each other that you can before the sun rises.
Jesse does try and find a spot where he can keep an eye on both the movie, Lola, Dan, and also the window where he can kind of just watch the tower. He doesn't spend too much time looking at it because it's hard to look at, but he keeps on kind of looking to see if it makes any weird adjustments.
It is continuing to slowly fold down into itself. By this point, sometime tomorrow, like tomorrow afternoon, if the rate remains the same, and it seems like it has, it will have folded itself down into the factory itself. Tomorrow afternoon, day of the festival, that is when things are going to hit, as best as you can tell. All of you either wake up or, if you never went to sleep, acknowledge the rising of the sun.
In and around the couch area, Lola punctuates. Turns out she's just not great at sitting still for long periods of time. So she, every so often while the movies are on, she'll hop up and do some bar work, or she'll change from a movie to music and she'll just dance across the floor, and she'll drag Jesse along if he's willing. She'll encourage him to do his fur coat dance that he did in front of the clothing depository in front of the church the same day she got out.
The one that you guys ransacked multiple times?
Multiple times, yes.
Yep. Jesse definitely obliges. He performs several different dances, none of which are the same, but he's convinced it's the same dance every time. But by the time the sun is up and everybody else is starting to stir, I think they've kind of probably slowed down at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he ever actually... I think the anxiety of everything has kept him awake at least. And he keeps on glancing back out the window at the tower just to see where it's at.
The progress appears steady.
Yeah.
Same as it was. But by the time it's, you're looking at it towards morning, it's uncomfortably low.
So yeah, by the time everyone else starts stirring, he's looking pretty bag-eyed and squirrely.
Dan, probably noticing that these two were not going to sleep and kept moving around and still kind of keyed up, just moves off to like one of the guest bedrooms and just like still in wolf form, just throws himself on the bed.
Dog in a bed.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like just passed out there.
Dan's had a rough couple of days.
Yeah.
Is he sleeping in
He's
today?
going to sleep until somebody wakes him up.
Gotcha. John and Aviva.
So once the sunlight starts to come in, John his eyes open just a little, and all too aware of what the day holds for him, he seems to kind of make the conscious decision to not make a move to get up or start getting ready just yet, and seems content to kind of just hold Aviva with him for as long as he can.
She's definitely likely to sleep in longer than him, just naturally. She hasn't really been sleeping in beds, what with traveling around on the motorcycle and trying to get back into life, so this is a series of comforts that are strange to her. But eventually, probably when... What is the window curtain situation?
For someone like Johnson,
Yeah.
it's probably got like dark, heavy curtains that let only a few rays of sunlight in. But eventually, as the sun rises, a few might cross over your eyes.
Once there's enough to sort of escape out the side of the blackout curtains, she will wake up, kind of groan about it and indicate that she would like to be asleep again. But she's definitely fully awake and quick as soon as that anxiety for the day starts to settle in.
Good morning.
Good morning.
He doesn't move, and it's basically like, so I guess today we really find out how this ends.
Yeah, it's do it or die now.
So, I've been hemming and hawing for a while about asking you this,
Oh?
but I need to know.
You're really gonna, put another big question on the table right now? What do you need to know, John?
I don't need to know yet, but have you decided where you want to be
Where I want to be?
when all of this is done?
Oh. Yeah, I think once this is done, maybe I'm a bit done with acting noble. I'll be a bit selfish. Stick around.
All right. I noticed that you were able to do something a while back that I've never really seen before. You were able to help people get to their final destination, whatever lies at the end of the road for those who die.
Yeah, I've been under the impression that's the purpose of what I am. I don't know if that's true, but it's definitely the niche that I've seen for, Alice and I.
Well, I've been thinking more and more that maybe that's why you're here. That maybe there's going to be a lot of people who end up needing that.
Yeah, I could see that being true, unfortunately.
So,
So,
if things go bad, maybe maybe you being here means that there's some good that can happen at the end of it all. Maybe we can actually help those people that suffered last night.
yeah, that would be good, but here's the thing, all right? I get that all of this is heavy, I do. I get that all this has consequences, and I'm willing to own the blood that's on my hands, and I'm not convinced that won't be the end of it. But, I want to help people if I have to have that chance, but maybe it's naive, but the fact that we're doing this at all is something good to come out of it. I'm convinced of that. Regardless of, other things I've doubted, that's never been a question as to whether or not we actually need to save Ashville.
So when this is done, we'll do our part to help clean up the mess. Everyone that gets hurt when all is said and done. But if you're willing, I was thinking I might skip town for just a little while, a week or two, kind of refocus, figure out what I really want, and I was hoping you might come with me.
I have a requirement.
Okay.
We're not taking your car.
Your bike's repaired, right?
My bike's repaired. You can either get one or hop on.
I'm fine either way.
Let's do it.
not at all wanting to. And John will start to kind of sit up and invite Aviva to come along and start the day.
Aviva, you had plans for this morning, correct?
Yeah, she will want to redo the...
We've been calling it Dead Man's Breakfast, but it's actually called Dumb Supper.
Yeah. I always mess that up because it's Dead Man's Camera. It's another one of the ceremonies I have, but no, yeah, Dumb Supper. I would like to do Dead Dumb Breakfast for the group. I'd like to set that up again with the same level of like care and reverence, and just make sure that everyone is at their top performance, as it's been enough time, and it's what I can do to get this day started off right.
The first time you did this, you got an exceptional success, and there were unusual effects here in the home of a Moros mage. This time, you didn't get an exceptional, but you did succeed, correct?
Yes.
And as you guys go through the steps, everyone participating in this silent ritual of the dead, one more time are there apparitions that seem to fade in and out of the room as all of you are eating in this place that you have done it once before. Only this time it doesn't seem to be a random collection of ghosts tied to the history of the town. This time, catching glimpses out of the corners of your eyes. Again, it's much less solid than last time, but reflected in glass off the polish of the table, things will move and you will see faces. And though none of the faces are the sacrifices from the list, for their souls are elsewhere, you see reflected in the room around you as that dread chill fills the air, the faces of those who have died to everything that has gone on. A lot of faces you don't recognize, but clearly people who have died because of what happens here. Aviva, you recognize the ghost of the girl from the side of the road when you first came back to town. The ghosts of the people who died last night are reflected looking out through glass at those of you who sit around the table. But none of them look angry. It's more that they look understanding of the positions that all of you are in and what was done to them. Gary, Amber, members of the Order who were just as much pawns as everyone else. And the final ghost that manifests more than the others is long and dark, like shadow caught in headlights, with chunks missing out of the side, rising up behind Aviva, and then the matches burn down, the smoke is gone, and the chill goes out of the room. And all of you gain back your willpower, completely full, and ready to face what is going to happen today.
Lola has just sat hugging her knees on the chair.
All right. We should probably eat some real food, but we ready for this? What's the plan?
John looks up at that. A huge portion of the cult is, well, for better or worse, gone. It means that they're going to have even less of a presence in the factory if the festival is going. I took a look at Estrada. Last night, I could see his soul. I think the damage that was done to him, the corruption that happened because of this tower, I think I can eliminate it, cleanse him. But so long as that tower exists, it will resist my attempts, and the odds of me succeeding go down big time.
Treating strep while there's gangrene is a fool's errand.
Exactly. So if we can hit that tower, and Jesse, from what you said, we've got a little bit of time.
Not much left. I don't know if you guys have been looking, but it is folding in on itself, and it is dangerously close to being completely within the factory.
Within the factory, they're building something. So once it's in, I think that's the moment that we're too late. So what if we hit the factory, break in, While inside, Lola,
Mm-hmm.
you and I work together. Time and the ability to manipulate matter. And we try to liquefy and shut this thing down.
If there are moving parts, I can make them not moving parts. And if there's something else happening, that might buy some time for you to suss out what that is.
This thing is represented by the sign of a cog. I think it relies on moving parts. That's part of what brings its concept to life. So I think you can do some real damage. We just need to find that weakness that Dan was talking about. The problem, there are a few things that we haven't gotten out of the way just yet. One of them is my mom. And with her comes the Gold Moth. They're going to bring what remains of the cult, particularly its leader, and they're going to attempt to keep us from succeeding. And all they have to do is run the clock. So we're going to have to not pull punches. Lola, Jesse, I figure you guys are our best bet for actually getting in the joint.
That would be Jesse.
There's two ways in. First way, we can gather up in a vehicle, drive down to the factory, and fight our way through. I can ask the spirits to let us know where the locks are and make sure that whatever way we need to go is unbarred to us. The other way is there is a locus on the factory floor. I've never been to that locus, and my uncle always warned us to stay away from it. But in theory, a locus is a point of very specific intent and focus in both worlds. And if this tower is built somewhere, it's probably directly on top of that locus. So in theory, it would bring us right to the tower if we decided to go through the Hessil.
The locus is being used by the tower. It's taking the essence from it.
We should still be able to pass through there, though.
I don't know. I took a look when I was in there, and it was real weird. I didn't spend a lot of time looking at it because...
Well, here's the thing. Jesse has a pretty big point in that the road to get there, if we take, a car, that's relying on one point leading directly to another, and we're dealing with someone that breaks those rules, so we can end up in a loop for days. I don't know whether or not she can cast in, we call it the Shadow Realm, but Hessil. I don't know whether or not she can affect it with her magics, but it gives us a chance at slipping in by way of some blind spot that she doesn't have absolute control over. So I trust you guys to weigh the risks in that regard. Either one is fine by me.
And then Jesse, once we get in to the room with, what was it called that they were building?
I don't know. I'm just calling it the tower.
Once we get into the room with the base of the tower and nominally where we can hit it a bit, can you lock the doors and keep people out?
I can. Once I'm in the building, in the actual world of flesh, my gifts will let me sense the locks of the building and either unbar them or bar them.
There's an alarm, old school factory alarm. You're going to need to freeze it in place. Keep it from creating noise. That buys us plenty of extra time from anyone that might be around.
So we are branching a bit into some unknown territory. I don't know how many things I can keep in one place at one time.
Once you freeze it, it'll give me the time I need to just disable the thing.
Okay.
You know where the weak spots are?
I can sense the weak spots of any object. If I'm given time to look at it, I think I can find it. Dan, I know you are aware of it. Do you know where it is for certain? Or do you need me to look?
You're going to have to look. I get an impression that it had one on this, in the physical realm. It has something that it's tied to. My sense is that it has something to do with that room that you found. But I don't know a lot.
I kind of think its weakness is the people it needs.
Jesse is going to stand up and walk over to is there like a patio door that leads outside or something like that?
Yep, out towards the pool.
He'll open that door and kind of walk outside, and maybe one of the nearby trees in the backyard. He's going to look up at that tree and force his senses into the Hyseal.
Okay.
I'm hoping that Watcher in the branches is there.
It is. It has been somewhat close since the two of you forged a pact with it.
Watcher, in first tongue, he asks, what do you know about the locusts at the factory?
It looks down at you, cocks its head. Any spirit who wishes to feed from the factory locusts is gone. Any who attempt to take the essence of the locusts find themselves starved and destroyed.
So the essence there is poisoned.
I simply know that any who approach the locusts are destroyed.
Can Uratha pass through? Not feed, but pass through.
I simply know that any who approach the locusts are destroyed.
Did my uncle approach?
No, he was not so foolish.
Never once?
I warned him against it, and he never went.
I want to take my pack through that locust to fight the beast that is choking it.
I would warn you against it, as I did to your uncle.
Well, good thing I'm not asking you to whether or not I should be brave or a coward. I'm asking you whether or not I will survive the passage through the locust.
I only know, Uratha, what I know, and any who approach are destroyed. This is all I know.
Jesse narrows his eyes at Watcher and kind of hisses, "You know very little," and then kind of pulls his senses back out of the Hyseal and kind of tromps back to the table and sits down.
Jesse, lose the benefits of your pack.
Yeah, okay.
What did that tree say?
Nothing useful. The locust is very dangerous. My uncle avoided it. My totem avoided it. Spirits that go there are never seen again. I do not know if the tower consumes them or if the essence there is poisoned. I don't know enough, and we're running out of time, and we cannot scout it. There are reasons why that may be the better route, but it's a gamble.
Judging by that, I would say at least going by car. We're dealing with the devil we know. So maybe we should take a look at using that as a means of escape rather than getting in. Because we may well hit a point where we're getting overrun.
Does everyone still have the headbands and the coins I gave them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Still have mine, yeah.
Maybe traveling through the Hyseal would still be a better route.
No, but if you have those items and things do not go well, we may be able to escape through that locust. And with those items, I'm confident that even if we have to perform a ritual on the factory floor, we can get you into the Hyseal and out of there.
So we crack the thing, and if those who are loyal to it end up being too much, we get out and hope that by cracking the tower, that path becomes more safe. What do you guys think?
I think the sooner we get moving, the better. So if the better plan is to go by car, I say we go by car. And if we use the locust as a parachute.
Yeah, I'm not really willing to toss a coin on whether or not it kills us instantly or whatever, so I'm team car. Then we're already taking a lot of risks here, and I want to make sure we get to the fight.
Do we all go together?
I say we all go together, and we all make sure to bring the cloth and coins. That way we can use that as an out.
And the armor?
Yeah, definitely bring some armor.
Gear up as much as possible. Get in. Try not to get into complications. Find that weakness. Melt its face off. Is that the whole thing?
I think so.
Hit them hard, hit them fast, keep moving till we get where we're supposed to be.
I think that puts me and the werewolves on fuck-em-up duty for the inevitable fight.
Sure does.
All right.
Jesse, is there anything you're going to need before you go in?
No.
Dan?
Nah, man. I'm ready to do this.
Who's got the dagger?
I do. But I need a little while. I'm going to make some modifications.
Won't that kind of mess up its potential to kill the Golmoth if that's hanging around?
As long as I don't break it.
How comforting. Well, good luck, Thanatos. Don't fuck it up.
Thanks, almost. He glares daggers for a second, but kind of he smiles.
Is there a metal rod somewhere I can bring that's not your pool skimmer?
I keep a crowbar. Does that work?
We also got that
Where?
baton for you
Oh,
specifically.
that's right. Let's get the baton.
Okay.
I'll just look like I'm part of the parade. Is there a parade?
No.
Well, maybe
Definitely not in the factory, but honestly, we're going to be doing such weird shit anyways that
Well, there should be.
if they see you and the werewolves next to you, they're probably already going to be weirded out.
We are the parade.
Wasn't there a song about parades?
There is.
It's quite a few.
We can get into that later. We got a playlist for this. We're taking the same car. Let's go.
So, John, what are you doing to the obsidian dagger of the Kerberoy of ancient Miskathon?
John is going to take the dagger and head out back to the mausoleum that he maintains. And in the mausoleum, he's going to set the dagger out, and he's going to begin taking the object, and while maintaining its concept and ultimately its purpose, he's going to change its shape so that it becomes a more viable weapon for Dan to use on the Gold Moth when it comes time to kill it. And what he is going to do is make something akin to a punching dagger out of the dagger itself. The intention is for it to be strapped to Dan's hand in such a way that even if he shifts, he can utilize it in a fight.
Make the roll for that. Here's what I'm going to tell you, though. This thing is so particular. You are a Moros mage, so you're probably the only one who can actually do this without just fucking the whole thing up. This thing is so specific. If you fail this roll, I'm breaking it.
Do you want me to use the route that allows me to manipulate and craft physical objects, or the one that allows me to manipulate and craft ghostly objects? I have both.
Choose whichever your die pulls is higher,
Okay.
because they actually both would apply to this.
John takes a deep breath. The room darkens as his nimbus manifests, and he begins. Does the spec and ghost count for this?
Yes.
I will spend a point of willpower. 5 successes.
So tell me what it does.
I have an exceptional success for also determining the amount of bonus damage that it deals. It caps at 5, though. I will craft this into a 5 damage punching dagger for Dan.
Well, fucking okay.
Oh boy. I dress it in bones and all sorts of decorations that kind of make clear its intended purpose. And then I put it in a box, I close the box, and I will take it outside. And I'll look for the group who's presumably gearing up. I'll set the box down, slide it to Dan, and then I'm off to put on the Kevlar that I got on loan from the cop. And I'll be gearing up myself for the inevitable fight.
Everybody gears up. Are there any last minute things before you guys go out to the factory?
Lola takes off her point shoes and puts on her sneakers. She grabs the baton. Wherever John is, she kind of pokes her head in. So, John, I happen to have a thought.
What's on your mind?
Your mom's campaign signs.
Yeah.
They were in her dream. Really important stuff is in the dreams. Is there any chance those are of any importance to stopping her?
Stopping her?
Or just throwing gum in her hair?
I might offend her. But, Aviva's already done that so hard that I don't know if she can actually get more mad. What I do think, though, is that those signs are going to come into play once the machine is made. Maybe what she gets out of this is control of the town. While the machine might be its god, she becomes its ruler.
So there's no point in hanging out the side of the car window and just smashing signs on our way.
I see plenty of reason to do that. But That's more personal.
That's fair. All right, just wanted to check.
Yeah, so, I mean, if you're asking if we should do that, yeah, let's do that. But I don't know if it changes anything. It just feels good, and that's honestly good enough reason for me.
Well, she's orderly, so I wasn't sure if it meant something to her.
I say we give it a go.
Okay.
And if all we get is a little joy, fine by me.
Okay. She goes looking for baseball bats.
The only additional preparation that I'm going to declare making is just checking the weaponry collected from those approaching to see if there is like a knife or something else additional that I could have as a backup.
Yeah, there's an assortment of pistols and shotguns, and yeah, there's a knife.
Yeah, I'm looking for a blade of
One
some
guy has
sort.
like a machete.
Yeah, machete. No, machete. That's correct.
Okay, don't get that excited. Hold on.
No,
It's her
that's
genre.
the vibe.
I mean, it is her genre. Okay.
Hey, man. Should I be punching anybody else with this thing?
What was that?
This thing.
That thing is very sharp. Just use it with the reverence it deserves.
Wait, are we gonna like make it a
All right,
knife
gotcha.
again, or?
What was that?
So I was under the impression we were borrowing that.
I'll turn it back.
Okay, all right.
Dan, have you picked it up yet, or are you just holding the box?
I've opened up the box. I probably have touched it.
Okay. Someone who has never died before, touching it outside of the underworld. You're immediately assaulted by visions of your own death. You get over it.
Yeah.
You know, this is not debilitating, but you see just a bunch of future possible dead Dans. Dans who die in the next hour. Dans who die old and alone in their beds. Just visions of how you will inevitably die. It washes over you and then goes away. This did not happen to John when he was holding it. Didn't happen to anyone who's already experienced their death. It didn't happen to the Chosen in the underworld. It happens to you. The blade is deathly cold, and you get visions after your own death of you dressed like a pilgrim, pushing someone down onto the altar and killing them.
Well, gonna leave this in the box until we need it.
You good?
Yeah, I probably should come with a warning.
Oh, yeah. Be careful with it.
It shows visions.
Oh.
Anything cool?
No.
What kind of visions?
My death.
Oh, like
A lot of them, not just like the fated one.
all kinds of deaths?
All kinds of deaths.
You said fated again.
Yeah, it's like in a movie, man. The fated death.
Like the way you're actually gonna die?
Yeah.
Did it show you how you're actually gonna die?
I have no idea.
Well, what kind of death did it show you?
Old age and being crushed in a machine.
Oh, that's bullshit. That's fucking wrong.
Yeah.
There's no way a Rahu's dying of old age.
Yeah, well.
I mean, let's be real here.
Or crushing a machine, come on.
Yeah.
You
Honestly,
crush machines.
Jesse's kind of right. There's no way you're dying because there's something you couldn't pick up or of old age. No offense.
I get it. Yeah, but all sorts. I mean, those are just like two that came to mind. There was all sorts. I mean, I died choking on food, which is very embarrassing now that I'm looking at it.
It's a little more believable.
Wow. All right, everybody in the car.
And all you pile into the car.
Guys, if we can, knock over the campaign signs. Working on a theory.
Oh, hell yeah. Fuck your theory. Let's just do it.
I head to a closet. I collect the baseball bat and kind of just hold it out to the group to see who's going to take out the first sign while we're on the road.
Lola's got a baton. She's...
I'll grab that bat.
That baton is not going to last through hitting signs on it fast.
Don't worry, man. I'll hit all the signs we see.
And true to the spirit of the group,
I hit a fucking speed limit sign and knock that shit down.
all of you speed off towards the factory, knocking down Castro for mayor signs and the occasional other sign and maybe a mailbox.
I feel like there's loud music, hanging out, kind of pretending we're not all about to die.
Lola will put on Defying Gravity and scream sing it with Aviva if she joins her.
Oh, absolutely. I was about to suggest the exact same thing, same
Hell
song,
yeah.
all that shit.
Hell yeah.
Only one show tune on the way there.
No fucking promises.
Just taken over by show tunes, huh?
Oh, No, other songs can get in there. It's just that this is going to be a varied playlist.
One of the things that you guys will notice as you are screaming and smashing shit and committing petty vandalism and being a group of friends on their way to the end. So when you knock over those Castro for Mayor signs, when they hit the dirt all crumpled and broken, they say Taggert for Mayor.
Hit him harder.
Knock the Taggert right out of her.
Castro, I think. But yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
And then you...
Oh shit, there's a Castro sale sign. Knock it over now, it's a tag sale sign.
Oh, man. Oh, we need to get there now.
Lola puts on La Vie Boheme just as an act of rebellion to that.
You can't even blame us, Dan.
Yeah, I can. Guys, I need a little bit.
Hey, mister, she's my sister.
And with that, you arrive at the factory. The gates are closed and locked. The tower, because all of you can see it this close, is just a few dozen feet above the roof of the factory at this point. Jesse, you've been watching it, so within the hour.
He definitely kind of blinks a little bit at that, looks at you guys and says, we only have an hour.
Then let's get to it. You got the lock?
Jesse will walk up to the doors, and he will spend an essence to know the location of locks in the building.
You know them all?
And not being clear about which route we have to go, he will unlock them all.
The gate, no longer locked, swings open on old hinges just because of how gravity and how it sort of sags in its hinges. Every door, every window, every room within the factory unlocks and is open to all of you. In the parking lot, there are 2 cars, and that is it. One is extremely nice. You will recognize as the mayor's car. And the other one, Dan, you've worked on at some point, belongs to Carl, the union leader.
She have a bumper sticker for herself on her car?
No, she's not going to ruin her car by putting stuff on it.
No, but she's got a windshield.
Fair point.
Does she?
Good point. I will sword in the stone the baseball bat into the windshield.
Smashing through the windshield. It's not hard. She's not a batterman. She's not reinforced that shit. And it just, sword in the stone's the baseball. It spider webs around it. You create a big hole. There's broken glass. No alarm goes off when you smash the car.
All right, people, we're on a mission. Let's go.
Lead the way.
Yeah, I just unlocked the door. It's your job to kick it in.
Yeah, I'm going. I remember some of the doors that Amber took us through before, so I'm going to...
You have been in here before, yeah.
Right. So I'm going to start going...
So you're going to go the same way, so you're on like the catwalks above first?
Yeah, that's basically the way I know, so...
So that's the way Amber took you in, that's
Yep.
the way you're going? Okay. You open the door, and as soon as the door opens, all of you are hit with a blast of heat, like you're opening up an oven.
I need to check something.
Okay.
John will kind of shield himself with an arm from the waves of heat coming from it. And will close his eyes, begin to speak in that strange language he does when he's performing magic. And he exhales in an attempt to chill the space that they're headed into.
Roll it for me. You will reduce your pool by 5 dice.
Okay. Spending willpower. 2 successes. No exceptional success because of that.
You exhale. How long does this last?
I will spend a mana. I can cool the location for up to a month, but I'm going to do it for the rest of the day.
Okay.
And I'm also going to spend a point of mana to generate a kinetic shield over myself.
Okay. You exhale. There is like a burst of steam as the frigid air of your spell meets the heat from, depending on your lores, you might be able to recognize as etheric fire cooking from the cradle. You can see some of the machinery looks like it would be physically hot to the touch. like literally like touching an oven on the metal catwalks. Some of the things, John, you have your matter sight just as a matter of course, correct? You can see some of the things in here are just weakening on their own just because metal subjected to extreme heat like this is, for a period of time. Things have definitely been escalating recently. The factory, whatever is within the cradle, the factory is cooking itself. But with your exhalation, all of you can go in there basically without being fried alive.
Cool.
As Jesse moves forward into there, he will shift down into Direwolf and change to Urshul.
As I move into Dalu, actually, and proceed to start layering my gifts on myself.
Dan, you should keep the glove on from here on out.
I put on the glove of deaths.
I imagine just like Freddy Krueger claws.
Even in a place like that, it's still warm in here. It's like very humid, but your hand is freezing as you hold it. But you've already faced your own death. You don't have to do it again.
More prepared this time.
You're more prepared this time.
The gauntlet of death's fuckery.
The group of you enter, and through like an intercom system that somehow still works, you hear a voice that just says, hey there. Aren't you folks supposed to be down at the Founders Day Festival? Factory's closed today, so how about you get the fuck out?
Is that a cowboy?
Yeah, he's really always kind of had a weird kind of twang.
Well, who the fuck is that?
That's Carl, and we need to get moving.
Hey, Carl. You gotta come out, Carl.
Oh, hey there, John.
Sorry, I assume we're still walking.
I presume you guys are still walking. Hey there, John. We're disappointed to see you and Dan here like this.
I draw my pistol. Yeah, Carl. We're pretty disappointed in you, too.
For this Resident Evil rip-off bullshit.
I don't know what that is.
Lola,
He's so totally lying. There's no way he bit it that hard without knowing what it is. Carl, come on out. We're just going to talk to you.
And down on the factory floor below you guys, stepping out of like a little hatch, almost like a ship's porthole, like the thing that'd be on top of a submarine. Stepping out of it comes who you can only assume to be Carl. Some of you have seen him before. Some of you have no fucking clue who Carl is.
John looks at Jesse. He's like, yo, can you lock that?
Yeah.
And he steps out onto the factory floor next to the cradle. When he does that, what you guys can see inside is purple, blue, and red fire. And Carl just walks right out of it. And he is wearing like a big leather apron, like you'd wear, I don't know, to weld, basically. And he's got a welder's mask push up on his head. Welded to it and all around it are gears and cogs and barbed wire, and it looks like if he put it down over his face, it would be grotesque.
Nice look, steampunk safari.
Aviva, you have seen that mask before in someone else's memories.
I look down to his hand. Does he have the ring?
There's a ring on his finger, and he's carrying some sort of what almost looks like a huge cement drill in his hands.
Well, it looks like we know who's been causing all those quote-unquote car accidents.
What the hell, Carl?
That kills people.
Jesse growls.
Look, how about you all just fuck off for an hour or so?
Carl, this man is a werewolf. Do you think he's gonna fuck off? He just gestures to Jesse. Like, is that your plan here?
He's gonna die. He can't know.
Hey, to be fair, werewolf.
Ugh.
I'm proud of you.
I think it's time just to get this going.
I will say to him, I see you brought a drill.
Yeah.
I aim my gun at him, and
Make a shot.
Is this Estrada's gun or your gun?
this is Estrada's gun.
We'll just pin it all on him at the end.
I was like, John's wearing gloves.
I'm the killer, huh? Okay, all right.
Hey, Straw, would you mind telling me what's wrong with this gun?
So far, it is an exceptional success.
So far.
Is that 4 10s?
That is only 3 10s.
Don't forget to count the 8s.
2 more. I will shoot him for 8 lethal.
Carl drops dead.
I have to make a different roll.
Some Indiana Jones shit right there. That was fantastic.
I do not pass my wisdom check.
Okay.
I will lose a point of my equivalent of humanity.
Didn't you shoot him mundanely, though?
Yes, but it's still like humanity, so if I just murder people...
Is he still people?
Was that?
Is Carl still people?
I mean, look at him.
Apparently now.
He just came out of, like, a boiler inferno. That's a technical term.
The most delicate flower of our team took multiple gunshots. As far as I'm concerned right now, this is just a dude who is dead.
Fair.
This might change later.
Okay, so I guess plan still stands. John says, kind of like hand shaking slightly, but pretty committed to killing whoever gets in their way.
All right, the door is there. There's a hidden, a not authorized door down there. We gotta go. That's probably where the weak point is. I don't know. John will have to tell us when we get there.
I'm going to spend a point of mana to also apply the death armor effects to me, so I don't feel pain. I'm just going numb.
So you guys are going down towards the factory floor?
Yeah, Aviva will try to put a hand on John's shoulder. I don't know if that causes the kinetic armor to react.
All that happens is as you get like close, you can actually feel like all of the little particles of metal, dust, and what have you kind of serve as a bit of interference, just like you're reaching through water to touch him.
It's a bit of a glance at the hand, but that's fine. She just puts the hand on the shoulder and is ready to move on.
He takes a deep breath and moves on.
So, John has a bunch of stuff up. Dan, you said you were putting gifts up.
Yep.
Jesse, you are in your shul. Is anyone else putting anything up?
I mean, I'm wearing, armor, gauntlet, all the other combat preps, but generally I don't. Well, okay. Are you two giving off the signal as if this is, like, where it really goes down?
I mean, you can hold the call for a while. There's absolutely no reason not to get into it.
That's what I'm indicating.
Yeah. When you see a shift, you're basically free to, at that time, because your call takes a full round. We can reflexively shift.
I'm going to roll that call then.
Good plan.
Okay, I'm going to crowdsource this for the sake of expediency. Do I want to be a pile of swirling leaves?
No.
Probably not in the heat factory.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, fire is like the one thing that can damage me.
No, definitely not that.
Good point.
Okay, I'm going to make the roll for call. 3 successes.
Okay. You have successfully put up the call.
I will spend 3 plasm in order to have 6 call charges.
Are you doing anything with them right off the bat?
I'm going to sit on those charges.
Makes sense.
Just have a goofy thought in my mind about Ramona shows up and you're just like, blow, and she's dead. and then the tower's like, I am the blah, 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 and the tower just fucking dies.
Why didn't we try
The
this
end.
before?
It just seems so nonsensical. I just didn't think it would work.
I see you brought a tower to a gunfight.
I see you brought a god to my gunfight. Dead.
Anyways.
Let's go home, guys.
Aviva gets all goopy.
We all jump and freeze frame.
Yeah.
So, the group of you don your calls, activate your gifts, shroud yourselves in magic.
Lola's got a baton.
She does.
Hell yeah.
Bard energy.
That baton has actively fucked up a bunch of people.
A bunch of people.
and you make your way down the catwalk and then to the stairs that lead you down to the factory floor where Dan Amber brought you before, and John, where you walked with Estrada before. Down by the factory floor, you are down there. You are near the cradle and Carl's body.
Question.
Yes.
Is a dead body an object or a person?
Oh, no, not this age-old question.
I would like to know as well.
Rob, put an answer onto the recording, please.
I have
For posterity.
considered that this might apply to others as well.
This is a legal question.
A non-ambulatory dead body is an object.
How specific?
So,
Says the ambulatory dead body.
Hey,
Right.
I'm also an ambulatory alive body.
He's simply saying you're not an object.
yeah, saying I can't freeze you in space and time.
Aw.
What about if she's sleeping?
She has the.
Guys, I'm trying to run a climax here. I don't know.
Focus, everyone. Go on.
Do I freeze Carl to prevent him from being used somehow?
For real, chill, Dan.
You can try it.
Then yeah, Lola takes a minute and freezes Carl's body in space and time. I'm assuming he is size 5.
Yeah.
This will take 2 turns to do.
This is a contested roll.
I don't know what the die pool for this is, because it doesn't have one.
Then we're going to call it a clash of wills.
Oh boy.
Use your weird. You will get the 2 die bonus to
It's
this.
like a weird kind of like...
Super weird.
Because we were like, yeah, when Carl dies, it's kaput, but...
It's a weird edge case.
Yes. Once again, we're at the weird edge case.
That's the subtitle for this chronicle.
How many successes did you get?
3.
Also got 3. So here's what happens. You go to freeze him in time and space. At the exact moment, his body's time begins to unwind, bringing him back to a moment before he was killed. And what happens, because you both evened out on the clash, the way that I'm going to have this work, your effect does not go off, but neither does the other effect, as you essentially cancel each other out. You are trying to freeze time, it is trying to rewind time, and you are aware of what just happened.
So Carl is not.
Just a dead body right now. He is not unwound back to before a moment he died.
So he's still just dead.
He's just dead. He is neither frozen nor... It's not even resurrected. It's like dead prior. He is not alive. He is not frozen. But you are aware of what just happened.
Lola's eyes go very, very wide. Guys, there's time fuckery. There's time fuckery. Something didn't let me freeze him. Something tried to make him come back, and I canceled it, but it's... But there's...
I know. She's here. In some form.
Can we tie him up somehow?
Not in any new way that can't be undone.
Fuck this. And I'm just gonna take my machete and no legs. No hands. Not allowed.
You watch Aviva chop up a body.
I do.
I don't have tolerance for biology.
No, you don't.
Do I need to make a roll
I would
for this?
love for you to make a resolve composure.
Oh, boy. Four successes.
You hold your shit together. It's been a rough day. Things have been wild. You just saw a lot more people die. But your friend is just callously taking a machete to cut off a man's limbs.
To be fair, he does look like a sideshow from like a Halloween haunted house, right?
Yes, you also are aware that, I mean, of everybody here, Aviva probably has a call to chop his fucking limbs off.
Oh, my call has a call to chop his limbs off.
Heyo. Lola will make sure to kick the drill away.
Smart.
So with my machete, I'm just gonna make sure that he doesn't get legs, he doesn't get hands. Those privileges are just being very bloodily revoked.
Yeah, it takes a couple of hacks. Carl was a thick guy, but...
Oh, God.
It was. While Aviva puts in work, I'm going to start examining the machine, and basically I start getting to work.
Okay.
My intention is to use Mage Sight and find the point at which it is most vulnerable.
The cradle itself does not actually have a vulnerable point in that manner. However, the intake tube from the bodies downstairs and basically the lubricant for the machine, that much heat and that much intensity needs constant fluid.
And the hatch is where we had gone down?
And the hatch is where you had gone down.
Okay.
The other part is that there are, I think like you'd seen previously, weak weld points in the floor that have only been weakened by the heat. So you could, in theory, also just collapse the fucking floor.
I think I will get dramatic and collapse the floor if things escalate to that point. For now, I'm going to head over, kind of call for a hand, getting the hatch open and taking a look down there.
I'll give him a hand.
Yeah, you can. I mean, the hatch is open. Jesse opened everything. That includes the hatch.
Sweet. Afterwards, I will head down and see how much is now gone from the last time I was here.
So when you go down, a couple of things that you'll notice from the last time you were here, it fucking stinks now. Like before it smelled like blood. Now it smells like blood and rot. And two, this was like the size of an Olympic pool filled with blood and bodies and ghosts. It's about like half empty at this point.
Lola will kind of linger near the hatch, but at the smell, she's not looking down there unless directed to.
No.
I'll stick with John.
All right. In order to complete, it's going to need what's down here. So, we take steps to eliminate that. Those tubes are what it relies on to get its fuel to it. The tubes can be cut, so let's do that. Okay?
I mean, let's do it. Are they gonna get uncut?
Very likely. Which is why we're going to come at this from multiple angles. Dan, put yourself wherever you're going to most be able to react to the gold moth before it kills anyone.
All right. I'll stay within moving distance of just about everyone.
Maybe we should lock all points now. Give them a harder time getting to us.
Who's them?
Whoever they've got left.
While John is kind of going over this plan, Jesse is sniffing around, trying to locate where the actual locus is.
It is within the heart of the cradle. So like that big machine that Carl just stepped out of, where there is that unnatural fire within
Incandescent flame.
That it is right there. And now that you are physically this close, you can tell almost instantly that the infrastructure of this tower, of this machine, is built within and upon the locus on both sides. If you tried to go through it, at least while the machine was there, you would probably be torn apart, burned alive, dissipated. It would essentially devour you. So who's below looking right now and who's up above? Lola, you stayed up above?
Not alone. If everyone else goes down, she'll go down too. But I thought Aviva was still up here playing Mrs. Lovett.
I'm a little confused on the geography of what's...
So, you guys came in on the catwalks. They're like 20 feet above you.
Okay.
You walk down the stairs onto the factory floor. This is
Yep.
like the first ground floor where you guys are. Sunken a little bit, but that's where it is. There is a hatch door that, like on one of the walls, with a big do not enter sign in it, that goes down some stairs to like a basement or like a sub-level underneath where the factory floor is. That's where the bodies and the pool of blood and everything is. So if they went down the stairs to the pool of blood, Lola, you said you were staying basically at the hatch door on the first floor level.
Jesse is staying on the factory floor, and he is once again communing with the spirits of the building, and he's going to lock all of the outside doors. He's going to leave the hatch unlocked.
Okay.
So that they can move through in there. And any locks on that sub-level, he's going to leave open as long as it's not a lock to the outside. So he's shutting us in.
I'll go downstairs. If it looks like there's already 2 people upstairs and I've had enough time to finish blood spattered.
Yeah, turns out Final Girl will happily give you a freebie on her power to just hack this man's limbs off. You know, for half-remembered personal reasons.
Dan is upstairs near the portal, probably near Lola, just keeping an eye both down and on the factory floor to
So Lola and the Swansons are upstairs. Aviva and John are downstairs.
basically.
That's what I'm hearing? Okay.
Sounds good.
John, where are the weak points?
The pool and the tubes. If you look up there, you're going to see these tubes that are drawing the, mess from down here up into the machine. The metal that it's producing, the things that it makes, are some sort of alloy that uses blood in addition to the other materials.
So if I plug the tubes by making it so the stuff inside can't move anymore, will that work? Or should I try and aim for are the tubes well maintained, or is there a weak spot that I could weaken?
I say cut them.
Okay.
What are these tubes made out of?
They're made of steel.
Lola kind of looks for a weak joint or something on the tubes.
When it comes to the physical makeup of the things that are the cradle, it seems to be pretty well put together. Those of you who are on the first floor, perception checks for wits composure.
Which one is the first floor?
The Swansons and Lola.
Okay.
The factory floor.
Two successes.
One success.
All right. Jesse?
Six successes. I'm sorry. So Jesse normally gets an exceptional success on 3 successes. So that 3 more.
So that's an exceptional success for you.
Yeah.
Lola, you are looking at the machine. Dan, you're sort of keeping an eye out.
Yeah, just in general.
Just in general. Neither of you really see anything. Jesse, you don't really see anything at first either. But over the smell of blood and rot and that smell of hot metal, you catch just the faintest whiff of a woman's perfume. And it pulls your eyes up to the catwalk. With your exceptional, you will see Ramona on the catwalk casting something. The exceptional part of this is she does not seem to have noticed that you have noticed her yet. But she's definitely casting something. And you locked all the outside doors. You also know that Ramona has not cared about doors or space for some time.
Well, I don't think he can get to her fast enough to interrupt that casting. So instead, he'll kind of let out a sharp, deep kind of bark. Just that everybody else is suddenly kind of up and looking around. And he will start charging towards the catwalks. And being in her shul, I'm going to see if there's a low box or a barrel or something he can use to just kind of avoid the stairs and just leap up there.
There's all sorts of machinery and stuff. With an athletics check, you could probably jump up towards her. Letting out that bark will alert everyone so that everyone is not losing out on a surprise round as a rift in reality starts to open once again and a black, formless, oozing skeletal shape begins to flop into reality on the factory floor. You're right, you can't get there fast enough to finish the casting, but you are not all suddenly surprised by the appearance of the Antithanatau. And now we're going to be rolling initiatives.
9. Oh, shoot. I think it's actually 11 due to Retribution's first level adding 2 points of speed.
I mean, yeah, this is Ramona. You can apply Retribution.
I've been forgetting that all this time, but let me just look it up real quick, but I think that's what it does.
I have 22. Actually, no, 25. But that'll go to 22 next turn.
I do, in fact, have 11 due to tracking and finding assailants with the ferocity of a predatory animal.
I'm on a 10. I thought that was pretty good.
It is good.
Yeah.
I am also on a 10.
Hell yeah, bro.
I rolled a 1.
7.
For dramatic purposes.
You had to
Yes,
you
not
had to
because
one
I
up
rolled
it.
a 1, but to be dramatic.
You had to one up me and Erika.
I one-upped you indeed.
Well played, sir.
Like one down, Jim.
Quiet, Dan. Do your job.
25, he's doing the job.
The first one to act automatically is Ramona. She gets to go first no matter what.
Yep. Because she's a jerk.
Because she sped up her own personal time bubble.
Yeah.
And she looks at... So, Jesse, you're leaping up towards her.
Well, I was alerting to everyone. I think the intent is... She can clearly see my intent is to run up there. I don't think I've actually, made the attempt yet.
She looks at you as you are rushing over, Jesse. What is your resolve?
It is a 3. Yeah, let's do that. I'll spend a point of willpower.
Okay, she will take away 2 additional dice.
Because this ain't fair. You're supposed to use defense, man. Come on.
Wizards. Nice. That is exceptional success. She'll gain a mana. And she just looks at you, Jesse, with, utter contempt written across her face and says a bunch of stuff in high speech. And there is no immediate obvious effect.
Hate that.
Next up is Dan is actually faster than the Antithanatau.
I don't know if that's a good
Rematch.
It's still trying to get out of the portal, so it's still got that same problem it did last time.
Its defense is currently a 7.
Yeah.
Kick its ass, Seabass.
Full attack. Is it, how far away is it? Is it close enough?
It's close enough, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I mean, I can spend an essence otherwise.
She was opening it right on top of you
right
guys.
on top of you. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You can do this, Dan. Take a willpower.
So that'll be 4 successes?
Which is 9 total damage from its bane.
Correct.
So you fought this thing before with Tooth and Claw, and it was...
I prepared for this to suck, yes.
Yeah, it was not good. This time, however, so you have grasped the dagger, and you get an overwhelming sensation that the dagger is hungry to bring death to the deathless. And you cut a mass gouge out of this form, and so the Antithanatau doesn't really make noise, per se, but there is a sense of those skeletons within its form, moaning and shrieking as an item of pure death touches it, and it recoils in what could only be pain.
So almost a psychic emanation in some way.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was not expecting to have this happen.
Sucks, doesn't it?
Well, now it's the Antithanatau's turn.
Sucks, doesn't it?
What's your stamina?
That'll be
Aren't we all 3?
No.
4.
4.
Is that including Dalu shit?
Yeah. Is this a resistance thing? Because I will spend a willpower.
Yeah, it is a resistance thing.
Ooh. I remember this.
Lose 7 of your health levels. However, this time, the wounds that were dealt to it do not heal.
Can I heal those?
You may heal them as if they were lethal.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna reflexively shift to Garu.
Okay.
I thought this would be bad. I forgot how bad.
And it just starts to kind of swarm over you and pull out your life energy without letting you die. Aviva, you are downstairs with John, but you can very clearly hear the bark and then the roar and the howls going on upstairs. Things have begun.
And we had said that we didn't see any obvious weakness to these pipes.
Lola didn't upstairs, no. There's no obvious weak point to the cradle itself other than the pipes themselves are the weak point, but there's no weak point within the pipes. You can still trash the pipes like normal. They're just made of steel. They're not weird space metal or anything. They are quote unquote regular into the cradle. But there's no extra weak point to the pipes.
There's no specific rusty spot.
Yeah, there's no loose bolt or anything.
Okay.
It's just the pipes themselves are the part of the cradle you are most likely able to interact with and destroy.
If I were to guesstimate how long it would take me to run to the fight, would that be 1 turn or how?
You can get there in a round. Yeah,
Okay.
You're just down the stairs.
So I've got an idea, but I don't think it mechanically, technically makes it faster. Flavor-wise, it makes sense.
All right, let me know. What are you trying to do?
Effectively, there's a call power that I haven't used yet. The way that it works is that you spend 4 plasm in order to transform into a swarm. So any crack wide enough to let the light in. Passing through those cracks takes 1 turn per point of size. So I'm not sure if you can get smaller than 1, but that's where my head is at. Would that even be faster to go help my friends not die against the glow moth?
It wouldn't really be faster, honestly, than
Okay.
going up. However, I will say that in addition to your weird, like, I can climb walls movement stuff or flight or whatever, you could just swarm up through the grate. You would not have to, like, make athletics checks or anything to get up to Ramona. Because you could just, I mean, I described it as grating. You could just go, like, swarm your ass up straight through the grating.
I have more stupid questions.
Okay.
How thick are these pipes?
They are...
1C or 2? Come on.
How thick is the material, or how, like, what is the diameter?
How thick is the material that the pipe is constructed out of?
You don't really have a way to see that.
Okay.
Because the pipe opening is down under the blood.
Okay.
So, like...
I'm going to spend 1 plasm in order to do as I've done in the past. To become spindly and gripping in the quickest that I possibly can. I think just to get up these stairs quick enough. Add to my speed. I don't actually know locationally even necessarily what the threat is, but I'm just trying to yeet myself up these stairs as quickly as possible.
Yeet yourself extremely quickly with your weird speed stuff. Get up to the top. You will immediately become uncomfortable in the presence of the Antithanatau because you are dead. Anything that you do within its aura that has to do with death, so literally anything that you do because you're a ghost, is at a -2 die penalty. You will immediately be drawn to see where Ramona is, also because there's a huge-ass wolf jumping up towards that area. So that will draw your eye.
So right now, for clarity's sake, I am at 22 speed.
That's fast as fuck.
Thank you for drawing a diagram for me.
Sometimes it's necessary.
Yeah, absolutely.
What I want to do is to use the awful viscous nature of the call and my combined power with my Dreadgeist to grapple the Antithanatol for Dan.
It is hard to grapple, but the werewolves did it in the past, so...
I've learned from their wisdom and their success, and I'm part of this pack. And I know that Dan has a weapon that can actually smack this thing right back to the abyss where it came from. So I want him to have the best chance.
Make me your brawl plus strength. Its defense is normally a 7 right now. Dan already attacked it, so its defense is a 6. So you'll be subtracting 6 dice from this attack. You will be subtracting an additional 2 because you are ghost attacking the abyssal entity of anti-death.
I will be substituting in the Dreadgeist attribute, power, for instead of using my own strength. It's something that, Erika, you haven't been counting your 8s. I haven't been using my call condition.
We just wanted to save it all for the
He's been doing
for the
it on
big
hard
show.
mode, right, for the big show. Yeah, nice.
We're all learning. So I'm going to do that. And then you should also be aware that if I get 3 successes, it will be an exceptional success due to call condition as well.
Okay.
I'll be spending a willpower. Does this count as payback?
Yes, this is the second time you've seen this thing.
Also, maybe consider all out.
I will absolutely go all out. Thank you. That is 2 dice, right?
Yep.
0 successes.
You fly up the stairs, just all spindly and awful, and throw yourself at this thing. The problem with the Antithanatau for you grappling it is twofold. First, it is not totally a formless being, but it is wildly hard to grapple. It is just shifting and moving. And 2, as soon as you get close to it, you can feel your strength and the strength of the final girl being sapped and pulled away.
Can I use my beat at this point to give her maybe 2 more dice?
You know what? Yeah, that's fucking cool.
So the death dagger is sapping its anti-death strength.
It's the two of you fucking going toe to toe with this thing. That's rad as shit. I will absolutely let you cash in a beat for that.
I believe in you.
No luck. Thank you. I'm sorry.
It's fine.
No, that was fucking cool though. Truly, this is just in a game of rock paper scissors. It is the rock to your scissors.
Mm-hmm.
But that is not stopping Aviva from throwing herself at it anyways.
Absolutely.
After Aviva is Jesse.
Well, Jesse has decided that he's going to try and put some pressure on the mage. So he is going to vault off some of the detritus on the factory floor and leap up onto the catwalks.
All right, make me an athletics. And now the spell that was cast comes into effect.
Yeah, I figured.
Reduced to a chance die, and if you fail, it is a dramatic failure.
Well, that looks like a dramatic failure.
It is a dramatic failure. You will take her ranks in fate as lethal damage. So you will take 5 lethal as you go to vault and just like the boxes give way, the catwalk, you hit wrong on the catwalk and you fall in the worst way that fate would allow you to fall.
And how much do we usually generate at the end of a round?
1 bashing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you take a tumble? Lola.
Question.
Yes.
What's she wearing?
What's she wearing? A very smart pantsuit.
Are her keys in her hand?
Oh, yes. They have been, through the whims of fate, serendipitously lost by those who took them and found by her again.
Mm-hmm. When she casts, does she move her hands?
Yes, she does.
Big gestures or small ones?
It depends on the spell.
Okay.
But so the answer is both, yes.
Okay.
Her movements are very similar to John's.
I have 2 questions.
Yes.
I'm going to ask them, but I am pretty sure the answer is no to both of them.
Okay.
I have the informed condition on Ramona. Normally it cannot be used in combat.
Mm-hmm.
Can that somehow be utilized to prevent her from moving or to bait her into monologuing?
I will tell you straight out that with the right bait, Ramona will almost always monologue.
Mm-hmm.
She does not necessarily follow a band like the Black Angel who has to argue.
Mm-hmm.
But I think by this point in the story, it is pretty well established that she likes to monologue.
Yeah.
Tell her something that's slightly off. Everybody loves correcting that shit.
Actually.
She needs I know mages don't get frenzy tests. She needs a frenzy test.
Yeah, she grows a neck beard automatically. I would like to freeze one of 2 things, and I'm debating which one I have a better chance of doing. Her pantsuit or her keys.
Okay. Make your choice.
With the informed condition on her,
Mm-hmm.
which of these might be the better choice?
The suit.
Okay, because she's probably going to ward the shit out of her keys. Okay, I'm going to roll it, and then I'm going to say if Lola does a thing.
It's my particular favorite way of doing things.
Actually, I don't have to roll for this, usually.
Okay.
Looks like Lola does a thing.
I just spin my arms like a clock, and I spend the glamour.
How much glamour?
Just 1.
All right.
I mean, if you just do the jacket or whatever like that, then
Yeah.
that would be lesser
Yeah,
size.
I'll just do the jacket.
Yep.
Then it's just 1 glamour.
Okay.
So as her hands come to a stop, both of her middle fingers are extended.
How sweet. I'll show you what a master of time can do. John.
John is torn between a pair of choices. He can attempt to liquefy the catwalk that his mom is standing on, or stick to the plan. And ultimately, John decides to stick to the plan. So what I would like to do is I can see through the pipe, specifically the blood that is within these pipes. I'm at a toss-up between 2 choices. I can seize control of the machine and shape it, including the pipes. In this case, I would be obviously just sending the pipes upstairs.
Okay.
Or I can solidify the blood in this room into a gelatinous block. Looking at this, which seems to be the smaller option of the 2? Because this is going to be a bit challenging.
There is more blood by volume than there is machine. but you tried to do stuff to the factory itself earlier and were resisted.
John extends his hands, closes his eyes, and begins to speak in high speech with the intention on taking this pool of blood and bodies and changing it. Actually, before I start intoning in high speech, he calls out like loud, just loud enough to be heard as over the machine as best he can. And he calls out, "What did you do to my dad? Tell me the truth." And after he says that, he actually focuses his attention on casting.
Ramona, being what she is, gets a second action at the end of the round.
Mm-hmm.
Just like in her mind.
Mm-hmm.
Without actually taking her action, just some movement, will step sideways and shunt her jacket off of herself. The jacket remains suspended in midair. She just suddenly is standing next to it, wearing like a blouse, and the jacket is left behind. She looks annoyed, is looking very annoyed at you, Lola.
Mm-hmm. You shouldn't have been rude to my friend.
Then looks at the doorway from where John's voice just came and went, "Is that what this is about? You're just sad because your daddy's not around? This whole thing? Sweetheart, that's so sad. I could just get your dad for you if you wanted. Just let me deal with this." What is your resolve, Erika?
It's a 2, but I'm going to spend a willpower.
Okay. Not an exceptional. Only 3 successes this time. Erika, what is Lola's worst memory? The thought that maybe she tries to hide from, the thing that makes her break out in a sweat whenever her mind brushes up against it.
She doesn't remember her durance, correct?
No, but in this, you can pull up a memory from your durance. The truly worst, most horrific moment of her life.
The time she spent in Arcadia. The worst things that the porcelain mother ever did. She did when no one else could see. Lola is in one of the inexplicably dark rooms with sunlight streaming into it at Mother's estate. Mother is lovingly looming over her, hand on her shoulder, squeezing just a bit. And out the window, the other 3 are playing, practicing their crafts. The one made of gemstones, the one made of paint and pigment, and the one made of wool that she had forgotten about until this time. And Mother simply says, "Well, you see, if you let me dress you up pretty and you dance for me, you could let one of them go. Wouldn't you like that? You don't seem to want me to have all these nice things. But because I love you best, I'll give you something you want. Just let me play with you." And Lola, before she remembered she was Lola, gives a quiet nod, blinking her eyes. They're still her eyes. And Mother turns and takes her to another part of the garden, and that's when the pain starts. It starts in her veins with pressure and the sensation of something moving under her skin and burning through every vein and artery until there are asters blooming from her skin where her veins once were. Her hands, it feels like goosebumps at first, but then there's screaming pain that somehow no one else can hear as these inch-long thorns jut from her hands. And the worst pain is when her head very nearly catches fire as her eyes fall out the front of her and are replaced by these vivid, burning gold marigolds. And then Mother says, "Dance." And so Lola dances. And she dances knowing that all of this will have a point, that she can keep one of them safe. And she dances, and she dances, and she dances until the music finally stops, And Mother applauds. Says, very well. One of them is no more. And somewhere, there's a scream as a pile of wool catches on fire. And Lola realizes there's always a loophole. The more you care, the more you will hurt all the time. And she doesn't know how to stop.
For the next 3 rounds, you may have no thoughts but those thoughts. You may take no actions. You may do nothing except live and exist within that memory.
Outside of that memory, Lola grabs her eyes and screams and falls to the floor, uncontrollably sobbing and screaming.
And it's back to Ramona's turn. And she will step from view and appear behind her son and say, really? Your father, that's what this was all about? You just throwing a hissy fit? He's here. I could just give you your father back if you wanted him. All you had to do was ask. And she seems genuinely, like, kind of annoyed and indignant that that's all this is about. I just sent him away to be with the person he chose to be with. And that'll be her whole action. It actually takes her a little bit more effort to teleport when she can't see. Now it's Dan again. Even with the 3-point loss after the first round.
I gained back 3 when I shifted to Garu.
Oh, well, there you
still
go.
the
So
same.
you're still the same.
I'm in Garu form, so there's not a lot of thought. So let's roll these dice and see what I do.
Destroy killing form.
Gonna spend a willpower.
What's its defense at now?
Its defense is currently A7.
Too much dice.
Poor baby.
That'll be 5 successes.
Nice.
10 damage.
Yes.
Yeah. You are ripping violently into this thing. It is not dead yet. It is not dissipated. It is still moving, still trying to attack. As a matter of fact, it looks like it is going specifically towards Aviva at this point because death. But you are just tearing huge chunks out of it with this hungry, thirsting, ice-cold blade gripped in massive Garu claws.
Great. I will use my Garu ability. It is now grappled by me.
Yeah? Yeah, I got nothing to say to that.
Where are you going? Nowhere.
I wasn't going to, and then it's like, it's going after me. I'm like, nah. Fight me, coward.
That brings us to the Antithanatau.
Contested.
Yeah, no.
So good.
I mean, you guys made a whole ass trip to the underworld. Like, I'm not mad that you're jumping it, but like, goddamn, Dan.
Damn, Daniel. Jesus, that's a lot of dice.
That'll be 9 successes.
That's more than 5. So, yeah.
It had 5 total.
It had 5 total.
Dang it.
Yeah,
One
it
of them
didn't roll
exceptional.
great. So the only person that can do this to is you.
Yep.
So, what's your stamina in Garu?
More.
Okay, how much
I know
more?
I'm looking, holding. It is a 6.
Okay.
Spending willpower on top of that?
Yeah, sure.
Fuck, okay. Take 6 lethal.
Okay. I will hold it and reduce our defenses to 0.
Okay. Its defense is a 0. Aviva.
If I take a grapple alongside you, does that maintain the 0, or how does that work?
Here's how this will work. If you grapple it successfully,
Mm-hmm.
and its defense is currently a 0 because it's being grappled, then if, for instance, Dan goes before it goes at the top of the round and decides to let go of its grapple and his grapple and just knife it, it will still have defense 0 because it is still being grappled by Aviva.
I will be then grappling it. That sounds great.
Cuddle puddle.
Dogpile the abyssal monster.
It's a wolf pile, thank you.
Make your attack.
I will spend 1 of the charges in order to use Alice's power,
Mm-hmm.
and that will leave me with 3 left.
Yes.
I am going all out. One success.
1 success is all you need.
Are you counting Lola's successes? It's 8 and up, right?
Listen, I'll hand this to somebody. It's a lot of threes.
Yeah, it's a lot of.
I like that we're calling them Lola successes. We're explaining them for Lola.
I like to believe that, I'm just taking away Dan's first roll bad luck.
Despite the discomfort that a ghost feels being in the presence of the Antithanatau, describe how you take advantage of the werewolf grappling it to also help to pin it down.
So Dan's strength makes the opening. That makes Aviva able to overcome everything about that was draining her. Just enough to contribute. Now that he's got it in his arms, I like to think, how do you have it?
More than likely, I've impaled it on both my claws, and I am, holding and tearing at the same time.
I'll try to get it from the opposite side so that you have as much access to rip it apart as you could have.
Excellent.
All right, then Jesse. For your perceptions, you are aware that Ramona has disappeared, though her jacket remains suspended in space. And Dan and Aviva are wrestling with the horrible abyssal entity that assaulted all of you at the cabin. With your exceptional from before on the perception, you will get that same whiff of perfume from downstairs.
So Jesse is going to chase hot on her trail. He's going to move to basically the top of the staircase, kind of looking down at her. And when he gets there, I imagine that my action would be moving to there, right?
You gotta get up from the floor and heading over there. Yeah.
And then I will spend an essence to reflexively shift to Garu. And so at the top of the stairs, this growling form of Nershul's bones start to crack, and it swells in size, and suddenly there's a killing machine at the top of the stairs.
Okay.
I will heal the lethal I've taken.
All that lethal.
There's a killing machine behind you, too. It's the cradle.
Are you guys back to back?
Yes. I mean, they're both right there. I'm going to... ST Fiat, yes. But seriously, though, for the first time, maybe ever, considering how rare it is to go into the killing form, the Swanson brothers are side by side in Garu.
Jimmy and Bimmy.
The air vibrates.
Lola?
I'm still screaming and inconsolable on the floor.
Your action is to remain trapped in your worst moment. John?
Okay, so I'm doing a thing.
A thing?
I get tired every time you say that.
Okay, so I am going to fill a very large space with flickering lights, deep shadows, and a golden inlay that is going to start spreading from where I first touch the machine. Okay?
Okay.
And then I'm going to attempt to convert the entire machine into a malleable liquid that will remain suspended in air and under my control. What is the die penalty as this thing resists me?
7.
Okay. That will reduce me to 6 dice.
Okay.
Oh, and obviously I'm spending a point of willpower.
Yeah, I kind of assumed.
And 4 mana. That's right through. 2 successes.
Okay.
And as my Nimbus starts to kind of take up huge portions of the factory, I will seize control of the device and begin shaping it into a sphere.
As you start to basically destroy the cradle,
Yes.
all of you who are, sorry Lola, aware, actually 2 of you are in Garu form. Yeah, okay, Aviva and John. You can both see the tower start to lean. What remains of it?
Like it's falling over or like it's...
Like it's falling over.
Okay.
Like somebody's knocking out some structural supports to a radio tower.
Okay.
Honey, stop that.
I can't believe you picked this thing over me. I saw the phone call. I saw how comfortable you were leaving me to die.
And yet look how far you've come.
No thanks to you.
If you think so. And then she will start casting. And she So you put your hand on the machine to start doing that?
Yes, I have to touch it.
Mm-hmm. She puts her hand over yours, and then it is like you had not yet cast the spell. And the tower is reverted and vertical, and the machine is the machine, and it is not liquid. It is not spherical. To clarify, you still have control of the machine. She just
She's wrestling me for
she
it.
is wrestling you for it. She is using time to undo your matter.
John has a gun.
He does.
She's in a room full of bodies. I'm okay.
That's fair.
We will go back to the top of the round with her her primary action. There's a massive Garu at the top of the stairs. And she goes, well, we can't have that. John, if you care about your friends, I tell them not to swipe at me. Jesse, what's your current resolve?
So 3, I'll spend a willpower, and I don't think Indomitable also affects this, right?
Indomitable will not affect this one. No. She'll get 7 successes. But John, because she's touching you and you're this close and you're a mage, you will feel a slight pull of the abyss into reality as she just callously lets go Paradox. And Jesse, that same feeling or lack thereof that came over you before hits you again.
I could see magic.
You can.
Is she casting on him?
She cast on him, yes.
Okay.
Dan, you
Do it again.
slashed it, you grappled it, and then Aviva flows out and around it and is holding it down as well.
I will reflexively let it go, and I'm going to roll these dice and see how good this goes. That'll be 11.
I'm sorry, 11?
Yeah.
So 16 damage.
Yeah. The tiredness of size.
Dan, Aviva, about the two of you tell me how this thing gets ripped apart.
I'm thinking quite literally. You hold it, and I just bury my claw in and just pull it apart into 2 separate halves.
Spindly limbs that can grip with enhanced strength hold it in place, but not only do they hold it in place, as soon as your claws rip through one spot, it's compacted and grappled so that you can get further into it. Your skill leading the way so that Aviva can give you every bit of advantage in this grapple.
The Antithanatau cannot die. It is a being of anti-death. Unless someone somehow got a hold of its bane from the depths of the lower mysteries in the underworld and brought death to the deathless. And that is what you did. With one last, shudder, splashes inky darkness and bone across the floor and moves no more.
Do I get it on me?
Yes.
Gross.
All get it on you. I guess except for John.
I mean, is the floor graded?
No,
Not here.
not this
Okay.
part.
Jesse might not have it on him.
He's at the top of the stairs. He was
Ah.
right next to you guys.
He's-
He's at least got it on his feet.
He's in the splash zone.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a battle cry from Aviva that temporarily joins Lola's screams. And the awful sounds that the Garu is making, whether those are just the slashing of flesh-like substance, or if you're also making your own.
I'm very focused, actually.
Yeah, surprisingly, for a rampaging werewolf, Rahu Dan gets down to business.
Yep.
To defeat.
The Antithanatau is dead, so we move to Aviva.
Get her.
The only hesitation that Aviva has is a vague, reflexive ring of whatever goop has gotten on her before she's charging downstairs.
Yeah, you can get to the bottom of the stairs. That's easy enough.
Okay.
You got up to make an attack on the Antithanatau. You can get back down.
Mm-hmm.
Superman puncher.
Kiss your fist, Superman punch.
It's a lot of gravity behind that, too. Just straight from the top of the stairs.
So I will be, again, spending another call charge
Okay.
in order to borrow my Geist power. And that is effectively what's coming, is that seeing John's mom put a hand on him, especially at this location, and everything that they're facing, Lola's screams echoing upstairs, the form of the two Garu, I'm gonna do what I can to punch her.
Okay.
So this will be using the gauntlet. Nothing held back. So all out willpower.
Pause.
Yes.
This is the first physical attack against her.
Mm-hmm.
What is your resolve?
3. I don't believe I can spend the willpower to do that because I'm committing it to the attack.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can do it per action.
You may, if you want to.
Oh, damn. I'll happily spend that then. I'll spend 2.
This is the time.
No, I just...
Oh, no, I get you.
No, you got this. That was a good idea.
As you go to make a physical attack against her,
Mhm.
it's like her head whips around and looks at you barreling down the stairs and goes, "Not this time. Reduce your attack to a chance die. All resources are still spent."
So you're saying there's a chance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying there's a 1 in 10 chance, yes.
I did not make clear before this happened, so I'm going to leave it in your hands whether you want the retribution to have been applied to the attack or not.
So here's the real question.
Mhm.
Were you planning on doing it?
I was.
Okay, then it is applied to the attack.
Okay.
You are swinging at her with retributive intention.
That's a 6. Nah.
It would be a great time.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you had gotten 5 successes on
Mhm.
that attack roll, how much damage would you be doing?
If I had gotten 5 successes, I have this gauntlet, right? So
5
that's-
successes plus the gauntlet plus the 2 from retribution.
Yes.
So that is how much? I forgot how much the gauntlet does.
2.
2.
You will take 9 lethal to yourself
Mm-hmm.
as you go to hit her. Fate intervenes, and then space warps around her, and your fist doubles back and connects with your own body.
Armor.
You do have armor. Armor applies.
Okay.
Also, you can spend a plasm on a 1-for-1 basis to reduce those lethal to bashing.
Is that limited?
No.
Nope.
All right. Then I will happily do that. No, I'll spend 5 plasm. So that's all bashing. The way that works, if I remember from the last time that you did this,
Mm-hmm.
is that my attack is in fact bounced back on myself.
Yes.
So how might this happen in this space?
So specifically in this circumstance,
Mhm.
last time it was a little bit more subtle, where she just
Yeah.
like redirected you into smacking your head against a wall.
Mm-hmm.
This time, fully dawned with the call and a fighting gauntlet, you were coming at her with lethal intent.
I am.
So it's almost like space bends in such a way where here and there are no longer applicable concepts.
Mm-hmm.
And as you punch forward, your own fist contacts your own face from an impossible angle.
Mm.
Like almost like a little portal was opened up
Mm-hmm.
and you punch yourself. Because the armor applied, probably in the torso or
Mhm.
something like that, in the back. It doesn't have to make sense.
In the back feels thematically correct if you're cool with it.
Absolutely.
I charge forward with lethal intent, and her hung effect applies, and it's a brutal blow. The plasm moves throughout Aviva's body as she converts that damage, but there's still already bruises blooming. And then, in response to not this time, well, there won't be another one.
I agree. Jesse.
Well, unfortunately, Jesse has to attack her.
Yep.
So what am I rolling here?
You go down and you are rolling a chance die. She's not, unfortunately, getting the successes to make this a permanent effect, but...
Well, that's only an 8.
So you will hit Aviva for 5 successes.
Aviva?
Mhm.
Not me?
Nope. No, she picks the target.
Oh.
Do you do any additional damage? with your claws? Is it +1 or is it just?
I think my claws are +1.
Okay.
+2.
Is it 2? Oh, it is 2 in Garu.
So that will be 7 lethal to Aviva.
Mhm.
Still reduces by the armor. 2 additional lethal.
Well, she's got a stun locked, but this might buy you enough time.
So you have 2 lethal and 5 bashing.
Mm-hmm.
How many total hit points do you have?
8.
Okay. If you fill up all of them with lethal, you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Lola, this is round number
2
of
Gibbering madness.
Gibbering Madness.
Mm-hmm.
John.
John's eyes narrow when he sees, the people he cares about being used against each other. He takes a step towards his mom, kind of pulling his hand away from her. And he kneels down, looking up at his mom, and he says to her, "When we're done here, I'm leaving, and I don't care what happens to you anymore." And he dips his hand into the gore.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cast a spell to generate a zombie tilt on this room and raise every corpse that is here into a mass horde against her. You don't want to pull punches? Fine.
Honey, I have been pulling punches.
This costs 2 mana, and I'm again spending a point of willpower. 3 successes.
That's a success. Would you like to describe the effects of the zombie tilt?
He dips his hand in, and the blood starts to blacken. And when he stands up to meet her eyes, every corpse that is in the room stands up right along with him, like just perfectly mimicking his body language. And everyone's looking at her. I hope you didn't forget about your victims, because they remember you.
I only remember things that are important. It's Ramona's turn.
I should go over the tilt.
Yes. Please do.
Unfortunately, it's a little bit of a rough one, and I will be covering this whole floor with it. Characters moving through the horde are slowed by the mindless, grasping hands and sheer press of decomposing bodies. Within the area affected by the tilt, characters lose their bonus speed, so normal humans have speed equal to just their strength plus dex. Characters who move at anything less than full speed that is using an instant action to run are subjected to an attack using the horde's best dice pool. An exceptional success on this attack inflicts the knockdown tilt. In addition, if the zombies are especially ripe, moving through the area might require characters to make a reflexive stamina plus composure roll every minute or suffer the moderate version of the sick tilt.
Yeah, because it's fucking gross.
So basically, every time she gets a turn and doesn't use a full move to get away, she suffers an attack. And she acts twice.
She does.
Love that for her.
One quick question.
Yep.
Are the only affecting her, or is this an environmental tilt on everyone?
This is an environmental tilt on the room.
She's not running, so roll me your attack.
It is not my attack.
Would you like to roll the attack for the hordes on Ramona?
Sure. You let me know what their dice pool is, and they'll happily do it.
Fuck, I gotta fucking come up with a goddamn
Fight yourself.
attack.
So
I'm too busy doing wizard shit.
Write yourself or fight yourself.
Because I have described them as like the dismembered bodies of vengeful victims, I'm going to give them a 5-die pool. I feel like that is an acceptable amount. So tell you what, John, you roll when their attacks on Ramona. I'll roll when their attacks on everyone else.
Sounds good to me. Does she have any hung effects that might mess with her dice pool?
For this one, not right now. Her defense currently is she's been attacked twice. Her defense is a 7.
They miss. She'll take a -1 to her defense.
Aviva, take 5 bashing, but you have armor on, so as just a horde of zombies starts pounding on you. It is Ramona's action.
He just looks at her like with this crazed look in his eyes.
Really? Really, John? Okay, answer me this. Which is this really about? Like, what is making you throw this level of a hissy fit?
A mother would know.
Is it about your father, or is it about this girl? Like, tell me.
Aviva's taken the moment of being battered by the zombies, almost like sparing that half second of sympathy. These are all people who she knows the position of, or at least they were. And as a geist among the dead, she was experiencing a strange emotion, but that is interrupted. And when Ramona speaks, Aviva looks back directly at her, just like she did before, when Ramona was unmaking the bargain between Geist and Bound. She gives the mayor a Cheshire cat grin.
She was going to roll to make John tell her, specifically to look at his sympathetic links. But with that comment, or Cheshire cat grin,
The link reveals itself.
she goes, fine. Aviva, what's your defense?
It's currently a 4.
John, what is your defense?
Defense 5.
Just drop one of those. Ramona rolls her eyes and just goes, oh, fine. If you want to be together so much, then be together. Points at both of you, points to the same spot in front of her, and both of you physically merge with each other, your molecules tearing each other apart. Both of you will take 4 lethal.
I'll use my remaining 4 plasm to make that bashing.
As both of you take 4 lethal, as for just a moment, space collapses. Both of you occupy the same point in space at the exact same time. Your molecules tearing at each other, and then you are back to where you were.
Literally rips the grin off of Aviva's face.
See? Closeness.
John looks real bad. Also, did you roll the 2 dice of paradox?
No paradox for you.
Okay. That would have killed me.
Woof.
Though John looks like a fucking wreck, he does not seem to experience any pain. He doesn't blink. He himself is like a walking corpse. She just acted
Top
now.
of the round, she gets to act. They get to attack her.
Yep. What's her defense?
Her defense is currently a 9.
Go to 8. No successes.
This time they will actually batter at the Garu that is in the room. So, Jesse,
5 bashing?
5 bashing to you.
Okay.
So the zombies' attack are redirected through a warping in space to batter at the Garu. But it is taking her defense by 1. And she just looks extremely annoyed at everybody in the room and goes, I mean, good Lord, John. Don't you see the things that we're doing here? Do you want to see your father that badly? I can send you there. Or I can bring him here.
It doesn't matter, you're killing me.
Once this is done, none of that will matter.
It matters now.
Roll me a socialize. Either presence or manipulation. I will let you pick which one you think.
Got it.
Hefty pool.
That is the sound of 2 dice.
Really?
And 4 successes.
4 successes on 2 dice.
So you're telling me there's 2 chances?
Motherfucker.
So, she will not cast a spell during this action because this has been previously established by Lola. Bitch love a monologue.
Bitch love a monologue.
But also, you are hitting on the specific shit that is going to keep her hesitating and in her own ego instead of acting and closing the deal. She just looks at you and goes, once all of this is done, the rules don't apply to this town anymore. And then it doesn't matter if you die now or, we'll go back to before your father was such a bastard. All of this will be totally fine. You just can't see the bigger picture.
You'll still have done it. And you can bury it. You can hide from it.
Consequence
Run
is
from
for
it.
lesser beings.
But you'll still have done it.
If I don't want to, sweetheart, I don't even have to remember having done it.
That's just hiding.
It is bending reality to what I want it to be.
And this is what you want then? You've been bending reality this whole time. Is this what you want?
The end goal is so close, and she points up. Dan, it is your turn. That is her action.
All right.
Dan here.
So what does the zombified thing mean for movement?
You lose the +5 bonus, or the plus number that you add to speed is gone. And it's just based on your strength and dex.
Is 11 enough to get me in combat with them?
Down the stairs? Yeah.
Okay. Because I can double it if I need be.
You can... Tell you what. It's so fucking fast. The way I'm going to roll this right now, because you're running down there, is you double your speed, and I won't make the zombies attack you.
Okay.
Because you're just fucking barreling through them to get to your target.
I will then express it in the fact that I have launched myself at the top of the ceiling, utilize that as a platform to essentially drill claw my way at Ramona.
Okay,
Did you kiss it first?
You give an inch, they take a mile.
Well, that was my plan, and I was going to use my other thing if it became a real problem.
It's fine. Yeah, you got it.
I have another thing that can make me ignore it if I needed to.
She's currently defense 8.
That'll be 6 successes.
Okay. It's 8 lethal.
That'll be 11 lethal.
11 lethal. God damn.
I hit her with the claw.
Yeah, 100%.
You hit her with the claw.
I hit her with a claw. I'm...
John. Aviva, Jesse, you're down here. Dan launches himself out of the darkness of the stairwell, puncturing an instrument of true death directly through Ramona's skull. And she collapses dead, the top half of her head falling off the blade. I need everybody down here who has their wits about them a wits composure.
1 success.
Jesse also has 1 success.
2 successes.
I have 2 successes and a question when this is done.
Okay. Would you like to ask your question now?
Does her body get up?
No. Those of you who got successes. So I guess that's everybody. None of you, with the exception of John, have anything like mage sight or anything like that. The moment that Ramona dies, there is a sense of undoing, of one last ditch, no, that didn't happen, as history rewrites itself. Or, I guess, overlays on top of itself a new history, because Ramona's body lays there, but it doesn't get up to join the horde. But John specifically, you know that, like, the attempt to control is still being fought. And all of you, because you have been in a pocket of space and time before, feel that same sense of wrongness in the air as time and fate rewind themselves. And Ramona at the top of the stairs looks down and goes, "Good Lord." Now, to be clear, she looks as tired and hurt and everything as she was before Dan tore her in half. It is that one final thing that pushed her over the edge of death that has been undone.
I think it's Aviva's go.
It is now Aviva.
But the zombies are still doing as they were doing.
They are.
Shove her down the
Her
stairs.
defense is currently 7.
It is. She's been attacked twice this round.
Should be 0. Because I murdered.
May just cheat. I don't know what to tell you.
Yep.
As much as Aviva would love to choose violence in this moment, as she normally does, John's really messed up, isn't he?
John visibly has sections of himself just gone, but seems to be perfectly up and steady and going.
But there's a lot of damage.
He looks pretty bad, but is like... It's like he visibly has the kind of wounds that would have someone unconscious or limping or what have you. But there's no limp, there's no unconsciousness. Like one of his eyes is like swollen shut, and he just kind of looks on, continuing.
I've not seen that before, right?
You've seen something similar on yourself.
Yeah, it's actually a bit like you, where his body is suffering trauma, but it's not registering and it's not penalizing him in any way. He is essentially a walking corpse.
So here's what I'm thinking to do, and I don't know if this is how it works. Effectively, I have the call enhancement that allows me to climb walls and ceilings. That would be at normal speed. Theoretically, there are no zombies there to impede that. What I'm thinking to do is to use one of my 2 remaining call charges to substitute my Geist's resistance for my own. To grab John and get him away from the zombies to try to protect him.
You can grab John and run.
Go up the ceiling just so that out of everything that is trying to kill us.
If you grab John and crawl up on the ceiling, the zombies are like made of dismembered human bodies. They can't really get you.
And by upping my resistance, that will effectively increase my health.
For the turn,
Yes. For this turn, I'm going to gain 4 health boxes. And shooting a look over. Aviva has been quiet throughout the discussion with John and his mom. Emotions simmering, palpable beneath the surface, but these could well be final words. And she has nothing that she needs to say. This isn't her verbal battle. But she knows that look, at least in her own way, and she knows that John will just keep going until he dies. And she's not willing to let that happen. So trying to let him keep his hands free, using the advantage of the call to grip onto the smooth surfaces of this factory. I'm going to take him out of reach of the zombies and try and shield him from what's here.
You grab him, protecting him from the assault of the horde, clambering up onto the ceiling, clinging like a spider. And though they batter at you, you are wearing armor that he made, and also you are too tough, and they cannot stop Aviva and the final girl together from making sure that John doesn't die right now. Jesse.
So seeing her up at the top of the stairs, Jesse is going to use his last turn of Garu to muscle back up there through the horde. I suppose they can swing at me, right? Defense 8.
Yeah, they got nothing.
He'll heal the bashing that he took. And then once he's at the top of the stairs, he'll actually spend his last essence to reflexively shift back down into Urshul.
So you don't risk Karuth?
Yes, I don't want to risk that. I need to be back there. And he is going to snap out and try to bite the arm that has the keys. Her defense is 7, correct?
It is currently a 7.
Willpower is 3 dice.
Yes.
3 dice.
And all out is 2 dice.
2 dice.
So that leaves me with 7 dice. Well, that's a single success. And that's all I need to use Weaken the Prey. And I will inflict an arm rack on that arm that has the keys.
Hell yeah.
I also believe I can grapple as part of the bite.
In Urshul, I believe you can.
So she will now be grappled. She will take a single point of lethal damage, and her the arm with the keys is now racked.
Jesse snaps out and essentially breaks Ramona's arm, holding on to the broken limb with his teeth. And she, for the first time, actually screams. Ramona, not used to being hurt. Not like this. I mean, Dan did 1 million damage. She died instantly. She didn't really
Didn't feel a thing.
Didn't really feel anything.
Went quietly in her sleep.
Not quiet enough.
See,
Lola.
my brother's a sharp knife. I'm a dull spoon. It hurts more.
Lola, you are back to yourself. This is round 3.
I thought I had to wait through the round.
You are here.
Lola she's a hot mess. probably burst vessels in her eyes, throat probably hoarse from screaming. But the minute that those visions start to fade, the minute that she starts remembering that repeating that is not a foregone conclusion, she just kind of like rolls on her back and keeps yelling, but it's with purpose this time.
The scream from Ramona in your mind mingles for a second with the scream of the woolen child, and then you are fully aware of what's going on around you.
There's a little exhaustion in her voice, but Lola calls out from where she's lying on the floor, "We are Ashville's justice!" And she will attempt to put the inspired condition on everybody.
Hell yeah.
And I will, in fact, spend a willpower on this. 2 successes. But it's not contested, it's just on a merit.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone gains the inspired condition.
Everyone who hears Lola say that, when you are taking an action towards the idea that you are Ashville's justice, that you are bringing resolution to this town, making Ramona, the cult, the toolmaker pay for its sins, you may choose to resolve the inspired condition and gain an exceptional success on 3 successes rather than 5. And when you do, you gain a willpower.
Bard, motherfucker.
Hell yeah.
And with those words, John, it's up to you. You are being held in the arms of a spider ghost monster up on the ceiling, away from the grasping arms of the zombies that are battering at everyone.
It's not a monster if you love it.
It's a goopy embrace.
That was a great sentence. I just want to... You're on the ceiling in the embrace of the loving spider monster above the pile of zombies under the factory floor.
It's literally going to be a kiss of the Spider Woman.
John holds on to her, and with this cold 1,000-yard stare, I mean, as best he can with, his bruised, caught up, heavily damaged face, he levels Estrada's gun. And rather than casting magic, he points his gun at his mom, and he pulls the trigger.
She's currently defense 6.
Is this versus guns?
Her defense versus guns is a 5. Space applies, nothing else does. Spend willpower on this?
Sure did. No successes. He looks at his mom with the intent to kill and shoots at her.
Aviva takes 6 lethal as John shoots you. So yes, you have 1 bashing left.
I have 1 singular bashing left because of the action taken prior.
And because you are a Geist with 1 bashing, you do not drop.
Yes.
Now, here's the deal. Those extra health levels only last for the round. On your turn, you spend another charge.
I miscounted. I do not have another charge.
You know you're going to drop
Mm-hmm.
when those health levels go away. On the end of your turn,
Mm-hmm.
you are dead. But you have an action, but you might be able to get John to safety before dropping him into the horde.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that 1 and the extra health levels you have. It's Ramona's action.
Now it's the contested grapple.
Hey guys, she does not have a lot of brawl.
Good news, neither do I.
She actually got 2 successes.
Come on, buddy.
Do I have any means of seeing what's going on?
You are aware of everything
I
that's
think
going
you're
on.
right next to them. They're back at the top of the stairs.
Okay.
That's where you are.
Yep. You are aware of what's happening.
Lola
I'm going to
gives...
spend a willpower.
Okay, well, if you don't, Lola will help you, so... You said it first. I'll let it go.
Come on, buddy.
Well, that's 3 successes, which I think is going to be an exceptional success.
Nope.
Because of
Minus
inspired.
2. Minus 2 successes from her.
Because it's contested.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You have to beat it by 3.
Understood.
But you beat her and maintain the grapple.
Yes.
Which means she may still cast, but she is at penalties.
And you can now choose the move. So you can hold her, which would reduce her defense to 0.
I will do that. I will hold her, make her defense 0, and the arm holding the keys is racked.
So she's at casting penalties. So she's not allowed to use the arm, basically. So she will, basically because it's broken, yes, she will drop the keys to the ground. She no longer has the keys. Her arm is broken, and she's in a grapple. So she is at some reasonably significant casting penalties.
If your arm is broken or otherwise busted, you drop whatever you're holding in that arm and can't use it to attack opponents unless you've got the ambidextrous merit.
Yep.
You suffer offhand penalties for any rolls that require manual dexterity. If this effect spreads to both arms, you're down to a chance die on rolls require manual dexterity, and -3 to all other physical actions.
Mm-hmm.
So
Jesse,
yeah. Yes.
What is your resolve?
3 still. I'm gonna give you that willpower too.
She will also be spending a willpower on this because she's at a shit ton of penalties.
Yep. I have 1 willpower left.
Jesse, you're no longer grappling her.
Okay.
As you are teleported away. She did not get an exceptional success. You find yourself surrounded by incandescent flame. On your turn, you need to get the fuck out of here, or you are going to burn.
Wait, she put him in the machine?
She did.
The one that's made of water?
Oh, it is made of water because you fucked it up. She doesn't put you there. I forgot about that. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Got you.
Yeah, no, you did. Yeah, she was going to burn him alive, but
she has a tendency to do that to Jean's friends.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Turns
Yeah,
out.
you're right. That's awful.
Instead, annoyed, she just teleports you outside.
Outside
In the parking lot. You're in the parking
lot. Okay.
It's cooler out here.
He's not burning alive.
Yeah.
What's your defense?
We're at the top of the round. It's a 9.
Carry on.
Dan.
I am going to spend my once per chapter thing and ignore conditions or tilts.
Fucking hell yeah. The fact that means also you just get to ignore the zombie horde is...
That makes perfect sense.
I mean,
to
it
me.
totally makes
It
sense. It's
does.
fucking huge.
Not only that, I
But,
can
like-
ignore death.
Yeah, it's a weird...
Yeah.
Rahu gets some nasty shit. But anyways, you're doing it to go
Yeah, straight
cross
up.
some distance.
Yep. I'm hoping she has no attacks because this is full attack.
Hope away.
I'm hoping.
Her defense is an 8, thanks to the zombie attack. And seeing a fucking Garu rampaging and running straight at her, she's just going to spend a willpower.
So
Her defense is a 10. Use her actual shit.
I just can't look anymore. I feel like I'm gonna jinx this whole thing.
that'll be 5 successes.
So how much damage is that?
That'll be 10.
For the second time,
If that's going to kill her, I think this one
That
is
will
going to
kill her.
be a straight just through the chest cavity, like through the heart, just
Or where it would be.
done with this particular prey and the amount of damage it's causing.
she has one last trick.
God damn her. I'm gonna
But
take
it's
that.
not going to save her. Time begins to speed up around the machine. Unfortunately, John has taken control of it, and she's no longer stopping him. But John, what you pretty quickly figure out is that in the case of your mother's death, she was going to induce, essentially, and make sure this shit happened. But you are controlling the machine, so it doesn't happen. And the infrastructure starts to collapse as Dan, with the obsidian blade of the Kerberoy built for Garu form, is shoved directly through Ramona Gastro's heart, and she drops dead. And her last look is not one of defiance or anger or spite or pain or even fear. It is one of confusion. Like, how could this happen to me?
Lola just kind of rolls over to see this happening. She said, "It's okay. Ashville's in good hands."
I'm going to reflexively end my turn by going back to Dalu
Mm-hmm.
and letting her to the floor.
She just slumps to the floor amidst the dead. The horde of dead. Aviva.
Aviva knows she doesn't have long. She's got enough time to use what she's got left. The speed of the juncture between herself and her geist to pull John over to the safety atop the stairs. She sets him down a little reluctantly. One last squeeze. She looks at him and finds her friends' faces in the crowd full of zombies. Maybe she can even peek over the top, catch a glimpse of Lola, covered in gore and everything else, but it's a sincere smile, if a little rueful, but the damage is clear.
You have been battered, bruised, broken. You have had essentially your body torn apart in a teleporter accident, and the gunshot recurves back and hits you square in the heart, blood blossoming on your chest.
So if you don't mind, for narrative purposes, I'd like to drop the call so that I can look like myself.
Of course.
I mean, my Geist is present, as she always will be, but I'll be seeing her as she always will be pretty soon. So, spending my last moment with my friends, look to them and say that I better not be seeing any of you too soon down there. We're gonna be fighting. That's gonna suck because you're gonna kick my ass just like you did here. You got this. Make it right.
Lola crawls over and takes her hand with the wrist that has the friendship bracelet on it. See you on the flip, I guess.
I died once. I can do it again.
If anyone could, you could.
We are, for all intents and purposes, out of combat.
Bro, can you stop the zombies?
What?
Can you stop the zombies?
Are we all up out of the basement now?
Yeah, I don't know if we are all, for all intents and purposes, on combat.
Well, no. If we're all up,
Uh-huh.
just gonna shut the door into the floor.
So here's the thing, I'm outside, and I'm out of essence, so I have to rely on my 1 dot of larceny to try and pick the door if I want to get back in. So I'm kind of just like, oh god, what's going on in there, guys? Fuck.
Oh, wow. Oh, no, I can't find your face in the crowd.
Jesse's... The last thing you saw of Jesse was Ramona just angrily teleporting him away somewhere.
Yeah.
If there's still zombies here,
So
I guess.
you guys might think he just got a fucking
Got yeeted into time and space.
teleporter accident to death.
So John holds Aviva, one eye wide and pupil dilated, unblinking, and he holds on to Aviva and just starts crying. And with one free hand, he gestures to the machine that is made of water or liquid and just pours it over the horde to wash them down to the bottom level and just leave them underneath the weight of the liquid metal.
As the cradle pours down in a torrent of liquid metal, the etheric fire at its heart is snuffed. And those of you who are paying any attention at all, Jesse, actually outside, you can see this pretty well. The last remains of the tower that was creeping recursively back towards inside of the factory topples. Silently, you can see the metal tearing and rending, and actually, Jesse, you on the outside, you're the only one who sees a chunk of that metal fall away. Something that was descending is broken and gone as the tower collapses inside. And inside, the zombies are washed down. The 4 of you, for the next few seconds, are left on the factory floor.
And it seals Ramona with her victims and the victims of this town.
With control of it in the liquid state, I will return it into a solid. And he just kind of watches his mom kind of wash away, and he holds on to Aviva. We have to get out of this building. I'm not finished yet.
Then let's go.
Aviva, we're going to get you outside.
John, you say that. You are a Moros. You have death sight. You know when someone is dead. You have the ability to see through truth and illusion. You know when something is real and true. And there's a possibility that maybe in this moment you don't want either of those things to be true, but Aviva does not respond. Can a ghost die? You just watched it happen.
Not really aware of anything. John kind of stammers and, wanders the factory, just holding on to her.
Lola looks to Dan and help me get him and her out of here. And Lola goes, and tiny little Lola just kind of puts her arm around John's waist, kind of grabs him by the belt loop, and just starts helping him out. Come on, bud. Outside.
I'll lead them out.
The doors are locked, but from the inside, you can make your way out. Jesse, the door opens. Dan and John and Lola, all looking as much worse for wear as you, come out, and Aviva is limp and lifeless in their arms.
Jesse just kind of clutches his head a little bit, kind of wringing the sides of his temples, and his eyes kind of flash up terrified towards John and Aviva and Dan, and he just kind of slowly and hesitantly just reaches out to put a hand on John and Aviva's shoulder and kind of helps them out into the parking lot.
John kind of digs his heels for a moment, not refusing to go, but he rests a hand on the doorway and he casts a spell. John will spend a point of willpower on this and will extend duration. 3 successes, which will be an exceptional success.
Inspiration for exceptional.
The inside of the factory will experience a level 3 earthquake tilt for the next scene. And he'll just, as the building starts to shake and tremble and things start to fall down, he just clutches Aviva and lets Jesse kind of guide him out to the parking lot. Once they're far enough out, he'll let go of his death armor and kind of just let the pain start to actually sink in. And he just looks to the others at a loss for words.
It's done. It's time to go home.
Yeah. Let's take her home
Where's the...
with us.
Here for now.
John, where's home for the two of you? Where were you most at peace with her?
He thinks about it. I don't know if we ever really got the chance. But let's get back to the house. That's where I want to go.
Then that's where we go.
Jesse looks really pained, like he is biting his lip. John, you missed her funeral the first time. I know you had the right reasons to. This is something that you gotta figure out how to make sure that you're the one that's gotta lead this.
There's a few quick nods from John. Okay. I'll do my best.
Is the car still there?
Yeah, the car is still there.
Yeah, I'm driving us.
The group of you load in.
Lola takes a minute, takes the sword and the stone baseball bat, and just screams and wails on Ramona's car. 1, blowing off a little steam. 2, it's what Aviva would have wanted. And she will swing until the bat breaks.
I'll gather her up when she's spent herself. Put her in the car.
The group of you load up with Aviva's body. You drive back into town. You pass all of the broken buildings and homes and little businesses that make up Ashville. And none of these people are going to know what you did. Not most of them. What you spent and sacrificed so that they didn't have to live in a nightmare. And as you drive on, windows down, smell of popcorn and cotton candy, and the sounds of carnival rides and laughter starting up this morning. The town exists, as flawed as it might be, because of all of you and what you've done. and what you build from here. Aviva wasn't abiding. Hers was not a path of vengeance. It was a path of building something new, a life, something for the future. And the group of you go home. Forgetting Ashville is an actual play Chronicles of Darkness podcast set in the fictional New England town of Asheville. Aviva Caradonna was played by Rebecca Steigelfest. Dan Swanson was played by Tim Davis. Jesse Swanson was played by Garrett Gabbey. John Taggert was played by Lex Lopez. Lola Gardner was played by Erika Webb. Your storyteller was Rob Muirhead. Recording and editing by Rebecca Steigelfest. The music used in this episode was by Victoria Borodnova. You can find their music on pixabay.com. Forgetting Ashville uses the 2nd edition Chronicles of Darkness rule sets, including Changeling the Lost, Geist the Sin Eater, Mage the Awakening, Werewolf the Forsaken, and other Chronicles source materials, with a few select house rules. The Chronicles of Darkness are produced by Onyx Path Publishing. Make sure to subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter at @PathOfNightPod, on Facebook at facebook.com/PathOfNightPodcast, or email us at pathofnightpodcast@gmail.com. You can help support the show at coffee.com/pathofnight. See you next time, outsiders. A small house in Asheville with a white picket fence. A man gets out of bed, goes, brushes his teeth, looks in the mirror at a face that is not his. The being that was known as the Toolmaker doesn't understand why it fell from the God Machine's design and is left terrified and confused without its divine purpose, without guidance in a chaotic world. And it is afraid of reintegration. And so it stares at the mask that it wears in the mirror, steps out, starts a car that reality rewrote to be its, and drives to work. Aviva. It's dark. You can hear the waters. You are gone. But much like you've done for others, maybe it's time to move on after everything that's happened. To rest. Death here is not, it's not something to be afraid of. It's not something that feels uncomfortable. And then out of the darkness, you are seized by long, shadowy hands as the form of the final girl looks down at you and begins dragging you back towards the light. And as the light grows closer, you start experiencing something else, something different, flashes and visions. And then suddenly you find yourself sitting at the counter of a pawn shop. And you look down at your dark hands holding a little polishing drill or tool, trying to get some scuffs out of a ring, and your lungs feel heavy, and you feel so tired. You don't know what's up in John recently. Poor kid. It finally seemed like he was doing better, and then you cough, and then you cough again, and then you're choking on your own lungs. You can't draw breath, and you start to panic, and this is it. You can't breathe, and your chest is on fire, and you're clawing at your own throat, and you stumble, knocking trays of rings and coins off of the counter, and you fall, and you start to crawl as best as you can, because your thoughts are, yeah, he's been through too much. I can't let him find me like this. And then you die. Again. A mundane but horrific and mortal death alone. And in those last moments, the reflection of the glass on the counter, and you see that your face is not your face. It's John's Uncle Ernie, and you are living his last moments as he dies. And then the final girl, Alice, continues pulling you through, and you are gripped with one terrible certainty. You are one of the bound. The final girl is a survivor. She will not let you go that easily. The two of you still have things to do, but death always exacts a price. A life for a life, and it is too late to beg, and it is too late to bargain. And you sit up, laid under a sheet on a table, yourself again, alive, with the dread certainty that Ernie is dead, and the final girl, Alice, will not let you go the same way, no matter who or what it costs.